your producer. And I wish that you could display it so that the world can see, because that ruling is with your producer as we speak. Let me also add that as a certified professional in the public relations profession, I am not permitted to churn out lies or have truth or propaganda. And I'm not interested in doing so, because the duty of PRO practitioners is never to engage themselves in deceiving the public. And so I say to you again today that it was because the party went ahead to conduct primaries for congresses purportedly in favor of the APC against an order or an injunction granted by the court on the 21st day of November 2024. And so on the 23rd day of November 2024, APC under Ganduje went ahead to conduct local government congresses against the order of court.
Okay.
On the 30th day of November 2024, APC under Ganduje continued with disobedience to court order by conducting purported state congresses. And so, the court had to protect its integrity and dignity by rising to the occasion to mandatorily and summarily dissolve the purported congresses. And so, all this while, the APC appealed, including the beneficiaries to that illegal action of Umaru Ganduje. They appealed to the Court of Appeal for that God division, and that matter has been lying there. And you know that justice delayed is justice denied. That matter has been lying there for more than 12 months. And so the Court of Appeal last week Friday, ruled on the matter, rejecting the prayer of the defenders to hold that the High Court in Port Harcourt never had any jurisdiction to hear the matter have been issued. And before the wider implications, if they had granted their prayers, it would have those congresses by Justice Opoman on 20th of December would have been set aside.
Let me ask you this.
As it stands today, the Court of Appeal has sustained the ruling of the State High Court.
Let me ask you this. You see, before this matter went, this far to get to court, now you know that litigation costs money, it takes time, and it delays, the progress of any organization, party, political parties inclusive. For a party, a prominent one like yours, which is in power in Rivers State, a lot of time has been lost, a lot of activities are probably on hold to some extent. Now, rather than going to court, which of course we got judgment now, but are there no internal mechanisms for resolving conflicts such as these that could have resolved this matter for it not to have got to this point?
Now, I heard your, well, I think that, well, I don't know if you are going to play the role of an intermediary in this matter, because
why would I want to do that?
Parties headed to court. Yes, before parties headed to court, there were a series of letters drawing attention to the fact that the constitution of the party never allowed that you discipline your party members even without listening to them. There was never a panel set up. There was never an investigative committee set up by Umaru Ganduje before decisions were taken, both in the case of the Benue State chapter and that of Rivers. No panels, no investigation, nothing. You just woke up one morning to announce that you have dissolved validly persons who were elected by Congress. We are in which of the democracy does such things occur? And so you cannot use a jackboot military cantonment mentality to run a political party which is entirely a democratic institution. You cannot do that. And the laws of the land will never support you. The Constitution of the Federal Republic and the Electoral Act does not support that you just come cherry pick people and then them as managers of your political party without due diligence and without recourse to your own very constitution. So Ganduje flouted our constitution and the court punished him for that. And that is where we are. And we have written series of letters, including to the new national chairman, Professor Nantawe, drawing his attention to the dangers of ignoring what is happening in Rivers State. Well, you know, there are different leadership styles. As a scholar in mass communication, I'm aware that there are different leadership styles. Whatever any particular leader chooses to adopt, that is his own business. But the important thing is that you must lead in a way and manner that will not destroy the health and the stability of the political party. And that is my interest.
You know, at this time for, you know, these kinds of crises to still continue to linger at this time. Okay, before that, let me say this. You know, Rivers State is, each time it gets in the news, it's usually very interesting. Not just because it is a case in point, but, you know, this is the, to put it mildly, the commercial nerve center of the Niger Delta region, oil-rich Rivers State, and each time interests are at, you know, big power play when it has to do with Rivers State. Now, at this point in time in Nigeria's polity, it's a very delicate time for this kind of litigation to get to this point. And the crisis is still definitely hasn't ended, because there will be, the other party will be, you know, angling to study the CTC of this judgment. Now, what does it mean, this judgment coming at this time, as the elections are inching closer for you?
Well, first of all, the status of things as of today is that those who are nominated by Mr. Tony Okocha and his illegal set of executives to provide on the platform of our party during the last local government elections in Rivers State. This, the ruling and the status of things currently affects them very badly. And also, we, from the readings, of course, I am not a lawyer. I will tell anybody who cares to listen. Yes, I'm a mass communicator.
Okay.
And I have no apology for doing that. I will only tell you
right.
the state of things as interpreted to me by our lawyers. And so I want to tell you, however, that besides the shenanigans and innuendos that people choose to put out, I, for one, am not interested in destroying the APC in Rivers State or even in Nigeria. I'm interested in the fact that people will put on their thinking caps and understand that you have done plenty of reputational damage to people's integrity, and that you must sit in a round table and agree on ourselves that you have made you have committed for even political blunders, because there is no family where between the husband and the wife that there are no disagreements or every once in a while, even between the tongue and the teeth. And so if you now say that we are powerless, we are helpless, and that there is nothing we can do, and that you can do without us, then I tell you today that the law will speak. And when it speaks loudly, just as it is speaking now, you will now understand that a very powerful person becomes powerless. So I think there is a window. There is indeed a window for political resolution of all these issues playing out in Rivers State APC. But of course, that window cannot include that you will now agree that persons who were illegally carrying out activities and functions of behalf of APC in Rivers State to continue to stay No, no, not at all, because the court has spoken and resoundingly so. And so those persons should have no business managing our affairs in Rivers State. So I said to you that there is still a window for political resolution of this matter.
While the political resolution,
National Secretariat of our political party.
while the political resolution is being expected, you mentioned a while ago, while we spoke, that reputation, someone's reputation is at stake. Whose reputation precisely in this instance now?
Well, I can say to you without ambiguity that my reputation has been done great damage, because part of the particulars of claim that is lying before the court, which is today, which today has become public document, is to the fact that I supported a certain Atiku Abubakar against the candidate of my party during the 2023 elections. And so I find that ridiculous, I find it insulting, because even in the next 100 years, I will never support a vote for an Atiku Abubakar. And I have never, it's never been in my character to work against the interest of my party. I have never done so, I do not hope to do so. And that if I have any reasonable ground to walk away from the All Progressive Congress today, I will do it willingly, I will do it with the whole of my heart, and I will officially join another platform without having to stay within the party to sabotage its interest. I would never do that. Listen, let me tell you, I am still in the All Progressive Congress today because of my relationship with the current Minister of the Interior, Dr. Luke Mitunjojo.
Right.
I'm not afraid to say so. And based on the excellence and the reforms that they have brought to the Minister of the Interior, a once moribund ministry, very well known to Nigeria. And so I cannot afford not to associate myself with that sort of excellence in public service. And I am proud that I am proud to associate with the performance he has posted so far.
Have you ever been?
I personally walked away from the All Progressive Congress.
Before now, very many political heavyweights in your party, the ruling APC, or rather, your party received, political heavyweights into the fold of your party, and it was, of course, a celebration of some sorts. High-stakes celebration, of course, for welcoming even governors and sitting senators, right? At the same time, we know and we heard that many heavyweights from the APC decamped from your party to other political parties. Now, have you, at any point in time, in the midst of this crisis, been enticed by any of the opposition political parties to walk away from the party and put all of this behind you, perhaps with juicy position and offers and what have you? Was there any such time during this crisis before this judgment?
Well, in all fairness, and to speak the truth, because all those who know me very well will tell you that I always shoot from the hip. Yes, even as of yesterday, I had received a call from one of the opposition political parties. Well, like I said to you, I am not interested in joining or supporting any other platform because of my relationship with the Minister of the Interior. I'm not afraid to say so. And there is nothing anybody can say or do in the politics of the Rivers APC that will make me walk away from the All Progressive Congress without even consulting or talking it over with my friend, who is Minister of the Interior. Because I know that personally, I owe it as duty to support him to run the full course of his tenure as Minister of the Interior, and God will take him to higher places. So I am not, I said to you, yes, that is true, that is so. But of course, there is no way I can board to accept such offer.
You didn't see this, I don't know how whether you saw this judgment coming the way it did, but should it have gone the other way, what would have been your next line of action or your reaction to begin with?
Okay, now, in fact, this question is, I think that your questions were well structured. I want to commend you for.
We're discussing right live as we speak, so.
Well structured. Yes, yeah, your questions I must confess. Now let me say that if you ask if I saw it coming, number one, before we approached our lawyers, I took my time to go through the Constitution of the All Progressive Congress. And I compared it to what we have in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. And I saw clearly that we had a case, in fact a good case. And I spoke with some of my friends who are legal practitioners about the possibilities with the matter. And they say, yes, you have a good case. And so I was sure as a human being that this matter would go our way. In fact, I became double sure when on the 30th day of September 2024, the Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekereekun, declared that disobedience or disrespect for court or judicial pronouncements amounts to anarchy that will not be tolerated under our leadership. My confidence skyrocketed that indeed we had a very good case. And so I'm sure that even if we get to the apex court, the story will not be different.
All right. Now, before now, I remember during the local government election in Rivers State, well, it was some sort of a surprise, the way the victory turned. You remember, you understand what I'm talking about. But now, as a chairman, you see, your relationship with the lower rungs on the ladder of the party is definitely, at the moment, is definitely not as it is before, during the crisis and before the judgment. So, what was the relationship like, and how do you intend to drive the running of the party as the elections approach? Because you still have a battle, not the crisis now, ahead of you.
Well, concerning, I am confident that the party will grow far above what is currently bedeviling it. And I still underline the fact that there is a political window to sort ourselves out, and that this matter is purely an intra-party affair, and that to give no chance at all to the opposition to take advantage of what is happening. Because at the end of the day, this is the beauty of democracy, where people will argue, make arguments, have quarrels, and at the end of the day, reach a compromise in the greater interest of the political party. So I wouldn't want to speak so much about relationships with members of the party down the line. What I know is that I believe and I trust in the confidence and ability of the party to handle its own affairs at the appropriate time.
The primary elections just ended across all political parties, and virtually every party in the country, including yours, even at the center, had issues. There were even parallel, primaries in some states, issues of, threat to life. In some places, someone even died, and all sorts. The committees that will, resolve the issues that have arisen from the primaries are meeting. Some of them are meeting even as we speak. Now, after this will be the campaigns, hopefully in August. What will you be campaigning with in Rivers State? that the opposition doesn't have, that you will ensure that the opposition wouldn't do better than you to convince the electorate in Rivers State to vote for them rather than voting for your party, the APC?
Well, in terms of party management, let's even start from party management. Are you aware that a lot of the other opposition political parties have two persons laying claim to their governorship flags or their governorship tickets?
Those are intra-party crises in their party too.
And so they are not even able to put themselves together at that level. So, and we wish, yes, that is what I'm trying to let you know. So if you even want to look at ours is even a lesser evil, if you permit me to the use of that language, is even lesser. And so it will even take far lesser energy to get our own results and then put us on track for campaign, you know. And so I do not have any fears at all concerning our posting very credible and excellent results at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was specifically hoping that you tell me. You see, for instance, is it party cohesion? Is it unity? Is it, organization and handling of crisis properly? Is it, tackling security issues? Is it tackling the economy? Is it, remember we're talking about your state, Rivers State. So these are indices that could either put you over or pitch you against the electorate. So which of these aspects or indices would you say you can confidently convince the electorate in Rivers State to vote for you in the coming polls?
Well, let me say this clearly. Even though I'm not the spokesperson of the governor of Rivers State, and I do not speak for the government in Rivers State, I would like to say to you that we have a litany of projects, legacy, I must say, legacy projects completed even in the face of the political challenges that the governor has had. And so, for sure, we are going to put out the scorecard of the administration. And without plenty of noise in our echo chamber, we are going to prove to you that at the end of the day, besides all the troubles or the political challenges, indeed there has been some level of achievement that are remarkable that has been put on the ground that you can mark. And I know that you have your reporters here on ground. You can find out from them if some of these things are correct or they are mere pieces of life.
All right. I'm still staying with the primary elections. Primaries are very important because, that's the election before the election, and of course it determines whatever happens right after that. Now, some of the incidents that happened, to some extent, they scare a lot of people regarding what the outcome of the general election will be. For instance, I mentioned security earlier, and of course the irregularities. It sort of dampened the trusts of many electorate in the system. And in most political parties, as I said earlier, no political party right now is, immune from everything that happened. Now, how would you convince people to still participate in the polls? Yes, it's your civic duty, but suppose they choose to stay away because of what they've seen, that, the credibility of the process is not even guaranteed and what have you. So, how can people be convinced this time around that, look, you still need to participate, considering what we've seen?
Well, both the political parties, as one of the very important allied institutions to election management and conduct of elections in Nigeria, together with the National Orientation Agency, together with the INEC, which is principally the election umpire. I think that the without blowing the whistle of the other institutions, I think that something would have to be done between now and then. So as it were, education enlightening and bring the electorate all to sit on the reason why they must have to exercise their franchise. Because the truth of the matter is that if you decide to stay back or sit at home while the processes go on, you do not have any right to complain if at the end of the day it doesn't go your way. So the best option available to any electorate is to participate, is to take part in the process.
Despite the distrust that has been created in the minds of people, considering the desperation by high-profile politicians and what have you?
I do not understand. Desperation. Well, it depends on what you refer to as desperation. Political parties are vehicles for taking people or getting people into power or winning power as it were. And when people express ambition, it depends on you. You need to be careful in trying to put, how do I put it, for lack of a better word, to put a circumference around the definition of desperation in the body policy. Because when people express their own ambition and in a way and manner that you may not accept or agree with, you will not need to match it, place it side by side. Expressions of ambition by other people in other clients. When you do this cross matching and do proper without emotional attachment to it, then you might be able to make a proper assessment of what desperation is actually or how to actually situate the word desperation in the body policy.
All right, Darlington, let me ask you this now. You see, before now, according to the Electoral Act 2026, the date for the submission of delegates, candidates lists by all political parties should have been, it shouldn't be September, but because of the court ruling, it is still, the window is still open till September, right? Ordinarily, one will expect that as a member of the ruling party, that should trouble you because, the contest, it means that the more the contestants, the tougher the battle will be in terms of, election day. So what's your thought regarding the extension according to the court ruling?
Well, I think that the extension even gives the ruling party more time to market some of his achievements. And I'll say to you that the readily available campaign material to the ruling of Progressive Congress in Nigeria and the excellent performances, the very excellent performances of Dr. Luke Jojo at the Ministry of Interior. I think that campaigns will be easier if you have him man the soapbox to talk about his achievements or to remind Nigerians or to highlight, because his performance will be wonderful for any salesman, for any political party. Very easy to market. And so, the more the time, the better to package your scorecard and show or prove or display before Nigerians that in sector A, B, C, we have been able to achieve 1, 2, 3. And this is where we hope to get to, is to give us another opportunity to continue in power for the next 4 years. So that's my response to that question.
All right. Our time is winding down now, but let me ask you this just before I let you go. What should the people of Rivers State expect from the ruling APs now in the state as the elections approach? And of course, because, you know, once the campaign starts, a lot of people, the expectation, or rather the suspicion by a lot of Nigerians is that once campaign starts during electioneering, governance is suspended. But how can you convince the, you know, citizens and residents of Rivers State that the momentum in governance will be sustained?
Well, it is even good that we have, as of today, we are aware that the governor withdrew or suspended his ambition to run for
to contest for, yeah.
And so this, yes. So this even allows the campaign to go smoothly, side by side governance. And so I think that Rivers State will be one of the states that would not even have any kind of heaviness or confusion in terms of managing governance, while at the same time campaigning to the people concerning what we are able to do in the next 4 years.
Darlington Welju of the APC in Rivers State, many thanks indeed for joining the program tonight. I'm looking forward to having you one day, perhaps before the election, right here in the studio in Abuja.
Why not? I'll be available.
Thank you very much indeed.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God. Yeah, thank you.
That's our show for today. As I mentioned earlier in my introduction, I shall try to make contact with the other camp to come state their own facts and, of course, sort of have their right of reply on the program tomorrow. But until then, that's our show for today. Don't forget, you can follow us on all social media handles at Democracy Today and AIT. And of course, you can find me on all social media handles. We'll continue these conversations and so many other conversations right there. I'll see you again tomorrow. I am Enemaku Ojochegbe. Bye for now.
Nigerian filmmaker Paul Cast is putting the finishing touches to his latest movie, Just the Two of Us. The project is due for release in April, and Cast says he's hoping it will hit big.
The storyline was mainly around a couple and how they were able to go through their journeys and go through lots of highs and lows, mainly trying to typify the kind of struggle that could come in when people are in relationships.
A former psychology student, Cast launched his movie career in 2019. In terms of output, Nigeria's film industry, or Nollywood, is the second largest in the world, behind India's Bollywood, producing over 1,000 movies annually. In December, the Nigerian movie A Tribe Called Judah became the first movie to earn 1 billion naira, equivalent to about $1.1 million at the domestic box office. Tribe Called Judah cast member Olumide Oworu says the movie about a single mother and her 5 sons struggling to make ends meet is a common Nigerian story.
I think everybody that saw the movie just saw a bit of themselves in terms of just wanting to do
whatever it takes for your mom to be happy and comfortable.
Cast says the success of the movie Lionheart, directed by Genevieve Naji, which became the first Nigerian film to stream on Netflix in 2019, also inspired filmmakers.
We actually didn't have avenues.
Nigerian government calls for united response to tackling terrorism and insecurity. And schools besiege Nigerian mission in South Africa as Nigerian government's repatriation intensifies. Federal government launches gun trucks to boost fight against illegal mining. And in business, federal government targets stronger position in Africa continental trade. And of course, in sports, FIFA bans US of bottles at 2026 World Cup matches. This is a news hour on AIT. I am Adora Sydney Jack. With me is Otibe Omar.
Hello there. Welcome. The federal government has called for stronger collaboration among Nigerians, the media, civil society organizations, and security agencies in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism across the country. Speaking at a national press briefing in Abuja, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said terrorism remains a threat to national peace and security and can only be defeated through a united national response that rises above political, ethnic, religious, and regional differences. He said the government's nationwide campaign, #UniteAgainstTerror, is aimed at mobilizing citizens to stand together against terrorism and criminality, stressing that an attack on one Nigerian is an attack on all.
All Nigerians that the safe return of every child and every teacher currently in captivity remains a top national priority. The President has made it clear that no child belongs in captivity.
According to him, security agencies have intensified intelligence gathering, surveillance, and rescue operations to secure the release and bring the perpetrators to justice.
And that no effort will be spared in ensuring that those responsible for these heinous crimes are brought to justice. The President has directed every lawful instrument available to the Nigerian state be deployed towards achieving this objective, including the deployment of specialized rescue teams.
Highlighting recent security gains, Idris said troops under Operation Hadin Kai have neutralized dozens of terrorists, rescued civilians, and destroyed terrorist infrastructure in the northeast. He added that security operations across other regions have dismantled criminal camps, disrupted kidnapping networks, and enhanced the protection of critical national assets. The minister also cited recent terrorism convictions, including those linked to the 2022 Owo church attack, describing justice as a vital component of national security.
Now, 2 kidnapped victims have been rescued by troops of the 12th Brigade Nigerian Army in collaboration with local vigilantes in Yagba West local government area of Kogi State. A statement by the Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 12th Brigade Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Hassan Abdullahi, explained that the terrorists had invaded a residence near Solid Rock School in Ijalu, Egbe, in the late hours of 3rd of June 2026 and abducted 5 members of a family, including a woman and her infant. Lieutenant Hassan Abdullahi also explained that upon receiving the distress report, troops under 2 Division Nigerian Army immediately mobilized alongside members of the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, launching a hot pursuit along the withdrawal route of the terrorists. According to Lieutenant Hassan Abdullahi, pressure mounted on the invading terrorists by the Joint Security Team forced them to abandon one Mrs. Adekemi Ido and her 6-month-old child near the Oro axis before fleeing into the surrounding forest. The Army spokesman confirmed that the rescued victims have been safely returned to their residence while troops continue aggressive search and rescue operations in the general area to free the remaining 3 victims and apprehend the perpetrators. Lieutenant Hassan Abdullahi reiterated that the Nigerian Army remains resolute, committed to protecting lives and property in Kogi State, but appeal to members of the public to continue to provide timely and credible information to support ongoing security operations.
The Commissioner of Police in Kogi State, Naziru Kankarofi, has intensified security engagement across the state, meeting with principals and education stakeholders in a proactive move aimed at preventing possible attacks and abductions targeting schools. The emergency consultation held in Lokoja brought together key actors in the education sector to review vulnerabilities in schools and strengthen preventive measures against criminal threats targeting pupils and students. Our correspondent in Lokoja reports that stakeholders at the meeting raised concerns over several security gaps currently affecting schools across Kogi State.
Among the issues highlighted were the absence of perimeter fencing in many public schools, weak security awareness systems, increased cases of land encroachment, illegal mining activities around school environments, and the growing influence of substance abuse, all of which were described as risk factors, exposing learners to danger. Some participants urged the state government to urgently increase investment in school security infrastructure and strengthen collaboration with relevant security agencies to safeguard educational facilities.
Recognized government agencies should be given the burden or the opportunity to take the security of mining sites.
Holistic attention on our schools, like the perimeter fencing, provision of security, maybe vigilantes in our schools, and a host of other.
Of our schools, and which we are on now, to make sure that areas that the states can intervene, especially in the issue of putting on the physical infrastructure.
After listening to the concerns and recommendations, the Commissioner of Police assured participants that the command is already working on a strengthened security framework for schools across Kogi State.
Perimeter fencing, how the state vigilante services can work together with the police to secure those schools.
The police command says further measures will be rolled out in the coming days as part of broader efforts to improve safety across the state education sector. Tehumba Akaya, AIT News, Lokoja.
Now the Zamfara State Police Command says it is on the trail of kidnappers who abducted 7 students of the Federal Polytechnic Kaura Namoda. The police public relations officer Yasid Abubakar says a joint police tactical team and military personnel immediately deployed to Kaura Namoda town when the incident occurred about 4 a.m. on Wednesday. The police spokesperson added that one of the abducted students escaped from captors not long after the incident.
And over 300 illegal miners have been arrested and more than 150 suspects prosecuted by mining marshals while securing conviction of a large number over the last 2 years. The Minister of Solid Minerals and Development, Dela Alake, who disclosed this in Abuja during the commissioning of gun trucks, promised to treat those who still indulge in illegal mining activities as enemies of the state in accordance with the law.
In a bid to improve operational capabilities of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps mining marshals in the fight against illegal mining, 8 gun trucks have been launched to further boost the capabilities of mining marshals across the country. Speaking during the ceremony, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alaka, said the mining machines have significantly contributed to the rise in revenue base of the country.
They have achieved a lot of the stated objectives. More than 300 illegal mining operators have been arrested. More than 150 have been prosecuted, and several scores of convictions have been secured against illegal mining operation. And so, in essence, the principle of establishing the mine marshals have been accomplished.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tujojo, who was represented, commended the support from the Ministry of Solid Minerals to the mining marshals.
Those who have been benefiting from the illegality of mining are now taking the back seat. And this is because of the energy expended and the talent brought in to fight the illegal miners.
In his address, the Commander General of NSCDC, Abubakar Aoudi, said the Corps will continue to work and cooperate with the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, assuring that the gold trucks will be used for the purposes they are meant for.
And we want to assure you by this time next year, we are going to redouble our effort to ensure that you beat your chest to say that you will not regret bringing Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps mining marshal to work with you in the fight against illegal mining activities.
That mining marshal operations have tremendously contributed their quota in line with NSCDC's core mandate, which is protection of critical national assets and infrastructure, especially industry espionage and economic sabotage.
Nigerians have been urged to support the fight against illegal miners as the activities of unregistered mining operators constitute theft of commonwealth. Highlight of the event is the unveiling of a book titled The Guardians of Nigeria's Solid Minerals, 2 Years of Commitment and Service. Opeta Agu, AIT News, Abuja.
Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has directed activist and publisher Omoyele Sowore to begin the presentation of his defense in the criminal case filed against him over alleged cyberbullying offenses. Now, Justice Muhammad Umaru issued the order after rejecting an application by Sowore's lawyer, Marshal Abubakar, who requested that the matter be postponed until after the court's annual vacation. The judge ruled that the trial continues on 5th June without delay. And the court further added that proceedings be conducted on a day-to-day basis in line with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and fixed June 5th for the commencement of the defense. Now, during the hearing, prosecuting counsel Akinlolu Kehinde, SAN, informed the court that the chief judge had declined Sowore's request for the case to be reassigned to another judge and directed that the trial continues before Justice Umaru. The defense argued that the chief judge's response implied that a formal application should be filed and heard in open court before the matter could proceed. However, the prosecution disagreed, maintaining that no such directive was contained in the letter. And after reviewing the correspondence, Justice Umaru held that the defense had misinterpreted its contents. He stated that while Sowore remained free to file any application before judgment, the case had reached the stage where he must enter his defense, prompting the court to adjourn for that purpose.
A screening of Nigerians who desire to leave South Africa following xenophobic attacks has commenced. This is coming a month after the Nigerian government announced a special reparation plans. In a public notice issued by the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria, the exercise will run till Sunday at the mission's premises, and a source told AIT News that about 400 Nigerians are involved in the first batch of the screening exercise. For Nigerians who have immigration-related offenses, the Nigerian mission in South Africa says such persons will not be arrested as waivers have been granted by the host authorities. Last Wednesday, Ghana commenced evacuation flights for its nationals from South Africa, where activists have given a June 30, 2026 deadline for undocumented or illegal foreigners to leave the country.
Now, the Tamil Turaki faction of the People's Democratic Party misinterpreted the Court of Appeal judgment on the leadership crisis plaguing the party, so has no right to claim legal validation. Well, that's a report, and according to the Minister of the Federal Capital, Nyesom Wike, who says Turaki, a senior advocate, will soon be derobed for what Wike called disinformation of the court verdict. Correspondent Chukwebuka Obodo has more.
During Thursday's inspection tour of projects in the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister Nyesom Wike did not mince words as he addressed what he described as misinformation by the Tamil Turaki group over a recent Court of Appeal judgment.
It's unfortunate, I can tell you that somebody will be derobed because of this matter. When a lawyer will come out to give different information, different from what the court has said, it's really unfortunate. You know, okay, you went on appeal, you appealed. You went on appeal, and they say appeal is dismissed. And you have lost.
He further alleged that Turaki and his group are deliberately spreading the claims to give their supporters false hope.
July, INEC would have published candidates of the various political parties. You see, once you have time for everything, you say, oh, we'll still have time. Let's be telling them this story. When it gets to July and candidates are being published, they'll have another to tell you, no, INEC said there was an error. They will correct it. These are the kind of things you see politicians, when they lose, they find something to keep their so-called supporters hope to be going on. So please, they lost yesterday and they have lost.
Meanwhile, the minister confirmed that all projects inspected are fully ready for commissioning to mark President Tinubu's 3rd anniversary in office. Chukwebuka Obodo, AIT News, Abuja.
Nigeria's House of Representatives was on Thursday thrown into a rowdy session as Deputy Spokesperson Philip Agbese alleged that some minority lawmakers received $50,000 bribe each to endorse Ikenga Imo Ugochiyere as the House Minority Leader. Agbese, in a point of order, alleged that his signature was forged, demanding that the House investigate the matter to protect the integrity of the legislature and the lawmakers involved.
Colleagues who were there when he signed will be brought forward before you, Mr. Speaker.
Ikenga Imo Ugochiyere was on Wednesday endorsed by 61 out of the 81 opposition lawmakers in the House of Representatives for the position of Minority Leader. But at Thursday's plenary, Philip Agbese, who was among those listed in the endorsement letter, came up with this allegation.
That I or other members whose names appear here have collected a sum of 50,000 naira from any individual. Sir, I read $50,000. I will share the screen. I've not received any amount of money from anybody, and I will not do so.
This threw the House into a rowdy session. After dousing the tension, the Speaker yielded the floor for Ugochiyere to respond.
Our colleagues who were there when he signed will be brought forward before you, Mr. Speaker. I understand that at the moment, overwhelming majority of 61 members out of 81 opposition members selected me. It may not go down well with some people, but I never expected that their desperation would get to this level. And also important, Mr. Speaker, that those who are now more interested are those who are not even members of the minority. But I subject to your decision to rule on this matter as a father, but I must apply that people, in seeking alternative options, must apply decorum and abide by what is decent, because this is outrageous and unacceptable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Speaker assured lawmakers that the matter will be addressed internally in line with the House rules, dismissing calls that the matter be referred to the Ethics and Privileges Committee. Ogianave Udrimo, AIT News, Abuja.
Now, as Governor Dauda Lawal marks his 3rd year in office, residents of Zamfara State are assessing his performance under his 6-point rescue mission. Many rate the administration high, but want to see more aggressive action on security and humanitarian support. AIT News correspondent Damina Yusuf reports from Gusau.
3 years ago, Governor Dauda Lawan took office with a solemn promise to rescue Zamfara State from systematic collapse. His ambitious 6-point agenda squarely targets security, education, healthcare, agriculture, economic empowerment, and infrastructure. In the state capital, Gusau, public sentiment has tilted largely towards appreciation. Local residents point to a visible transformation in internal roads and beef up neighborhood security, giving the administration high marks so far.
If I to rate him personally, I will rate him 85 to 90.
He is a human, bound to make some errors, 1 or 2. So to me, I will place him under B.
But far beyond urban infrastructure, armed banditry remains Zamfara's most lethal threat. For years, before Lawan's emergence, the state stood as the epicenter of terror in the northwest, displacing vulnerable farming communities and driving poverty record high. Neutralizing these menaces became the administration's topmost priority. Breaking away from controversial strategies of his predecessors, Governor Lawan instituted a strict policy of no negotiations with bandits while pushing the federal government for aggressive air and ground campaigns.
Alhamdulillah, even the security situation gradually is coming down. I'm going to empower the CPG so that they can do whatever it is. Anybody who is ready, then let him come on board.
The administration fortified frontline military troops and local security networks with massive logistics support. Beyond hardware, the government prioritized intelligence, ensuring that actionable data on criminal hideout is consistently fed to joint security operations.
We have seen drastic reduction in the crime rate of banditry in Zamfara, of some IDPs back to their ancestral homes.
Despite heavy security expenditures, economic growth remains on a top front banner. In a historic milestone, the Lawan administration completed Gusau International Airport, successfully launching its first international operation to Saudi Arabia. This is alongside massive investment in human capital over the past 3 years. The state has declared emergencies in both health and education, rebuilding dilapidated institutions, and restoring clean water schemes across the capital. State officials argue that these layered development are finally laying a safe foundation for internally displaced persons to return home, though they maintain that the remote villages still require tighter policing. Their immediate demands are for the provisions of sustained support for IDPs, concrete anti-corruption safeguards, and heavier security in vulnerable border villages.
There is need at least to have a standard and equipped IDP camp in some strategic areas.
I would like the government or this administration to focus more on system strengthening and anti-corruption strategy. This is why I expect the governor to do more.
As Governor Dauda Lawan steps into the final year of his first time, the stake could not be higher. For the people of Zamfara, the true measure of this legacy will rest on 2 things: sustaining this aggressive infrastructural momentum, permanently breaking the back of banditry in the rural frontiers. Damina Yusuf, AIT News, Gusau.
You're still watching the AIT News Hour. Let's take a short break now, but when we come back, we shall be bringing you business reports with Yemi Adebayo.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need help.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point oh.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind where the carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you, they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
Children unknowingly share germs with one another, especially when they play. I used to get worried when he was away from me, but not anymore.
Germs are everywhere, but Dettol's 12-hour protective shield shields your family every day.
Dettol, be 100% sure.
Abuja is rising. The Federal Capital Territory is moving forward with purpose, progress, and renewed hope. Join the Federal Capital Territory Administration as we celebrate the commissioning of 27 landmark projects and the flag-off of 2 new ones under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, by the Honorable Minister of the FCT, His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, and Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, in commemoration of the 3rd anniversary of the administration of Mr. President. Champion of the renewed hope agenda and the commemoration of 50 years of the Federal Capital Territory. From June 8th to July 17th, 2026, witness the commissioning of completed transformative projects designed to strengthen infrastructure and democratic institutions, improve livelihoods, and modernize Nigeria's capital city. Projects and landmark events include over 20 major roads, interchanges, and bridges covering more than 100 kilometers across the FCT, expanded water supply to satellite towns, the magnificent Court of Appeal Complex Abuja Division, new staff quarters of the Nigerian Law School Wari, ultra-modern office annex for the body of benchers, modern judges' quarters, remodeled Abuja City Gate, launch of the sales office and experience center of the Abuja City Work Development, and the unveiling of Abuja at 50 Compendium, celebrating the history, growth, achievements, and future vision of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, and many more impactful people-oriented projects aimed at improving mobility, housing, justice delivery, public service, and the overall quality of life for residents. This is progress you can see. This is development you can feel. This is the renewed hope agenda in action. Come and be part of history as the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, redefines development in the FCT. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, building infrastructure, preserving history, empowering communities, transforming lives.
You make choices every day. Your essential routine shouldn't be one of them. Start with Nivea Men Deep Body Lotion with MaxTech, powered by Black Carbon, that gives you 48 hours moisture. Then, lock in that powerful dark wood scent with Nivea Men Deep Roll-On with MaxTech that gives you 72 hours sweat and odor protection. Skin is for playing it smart. Nivea is for skin. Nivea Men, proud sponsors of Real Madrid.
Introducing the new Jig Sachet. Whitening your whites has never been more affordable. Now you can keep whites shining brighter and disinfect by killing 99.9% of germs on your floors and other surfaces. Just jig it with Jig Sachet.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, resumed the 3rd phase of the nationwide continuous voter registration CVR on Monday, 11th May 2026. This is the last phase of the registration exercise before the 2027 general election. In-person registration is open at all INEC state and LGA offices, while online pre-registration is also available at www.cvr.inecnigeria.org, which must be completed at any INEC office for capture of fingerprint and photograph. Lost or damaged PVCs can be replaced, and transfer can also be requested on the portal. Don't miss the chance to vote in the 2027 general election.
My people, do you know that 1 is better than 10? Better than 10? Yes, so. Impossible. Let me show you that 1 is better than 10 with Harpic 10X. Toilets have stains, which bleach cannot clean. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives not 2, not 4, but 10 times better cleaning, leaving your toilet sparkling clean. Wow! You can now see that 1 is better than 10!
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Our bodies get serums, washes, lotions, cleansers, scrubs. But underarms only get deodorant? That's why our new breakthrough formula contains pure hyaluron and vitamin C to deeply care for your underarms for a softer and even skin tone in 2 weeks. With 72 hours sweat and odor protection, try the new Nivea Derma Control Natural Tone because your underarms deserve more. Nivea is for skin.
Hello and welcome to Business Reports. I am Yemi Adebayo. Nigeria's ambition to strengthen its position in Africa's production and export markets is increasingly being tied to one key factor: compliance with globally accepted quality standards. The Minister of Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, says manufacturers must align with these standards if the country is to fully benefit from opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area and expand its industrial competitiveness across the continent.
As the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement gathers momentum, Africa must move beyond fragmented markets toward a more integrated and competitive continental economy. However, success will depend not only on market access, but on the ability of businesses to produce goods that inspire trust and meet accepted standards.
Standards build consumer confidence. It protects public health and creates a level playing ground for businesses. For the organized private sector, adhering to rigorous standards is not a regulatory burden to be avoided, but a strategic business imperative.
Industry experts say adherence to quality and standardization will help improve trade barriers, improve product acceptance, and strengthen Nigeria's industrial base.
Without common standards, African manufacturers face multiple certification requirements and inconsistent quality expectations in different markets. Harmonized standards, therefore, provide industries with a unified framework for production.
What is the problem with population or with quantity is that there is lack of quantity in quality. Therefore, the issue of quality, whatever you consider quality, is very important.
They stress that quality assurance is now central to sustainable industrialization and remains a critical requirement for businesses seeking broader access to Africa and global markets. Now, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to reducing youth unemployment through strategic partnerships aimed at creating at least 20,000 jobs under the Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program. Speaking at the 2026 Job Fair in Abuja, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Delivery and Coordination, Akubo Adegbe, said the initiative reflects the administration's drive to expand economic opportunities for young Nigerians.
According to the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's unemployment rate stood at 4.3% in the second quarter of 2024 under the revised methodology. While youth unemployment remained significantly higher, with more than 150 million Nigerian youth estimated to be of working age and millions of young people entering the labor market each year, creating quality jobs and improving employability skills have remained critical to the country's economic future. Addressing more than 5,000 participants at this event, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Delivery and Coordination, Akubo Adegbe, stressed the importance of stronger collaboration between government, the private sector, and development partners in expanding access to jobs.
Again, the Jubilee Fellows Program is designed to address the issue of experience. And so we're saying young people don't need experience to start work, but young people need opportunity to start.
Expectation for us is that
At the end of the day, all 1,500 fellows in this event are able to secure jobs and kick off as early as next Monday in their first opportunity for work in Nigeria. The Nigeria Jubilee Fellow Program prioritizes the interest of employers, but also takes it very important, the welfare of the fellows.
The economic advisor of United Nations Development Program, Tony Muhumuza, described the program as a strategic investment in Nigeria's human capital development.
We really need to be a bit considerate that the young people, what they are bringing may not be the 5 years experience you are looking for, but they come with the curiosity to learn, they come with the zeal.
The initiative connects graduates with organizations across key sectors of the economy, providing them with hands-on work experience, professional mentorship, and opportunities to develop job-ready skills. Olamide Ario, AIT News, Abuja.
And now to the stock markets. The Nigerian equities market extended its bearish run on Thursday as the NGX all-share index declined by 0.66% to close at 241,521.04 points. The value traded is over 24.10 billion naira, and the volume of shares was around 522 million naira. Market capitalization stood at 154.9 trillion naira. At the end of the day's trading session, the today reflects there were a lot of markets in today which reflect continued weakness in investor sentiment. And on the losers chart, McNicholas led laggards, followed by Associated Bus Company, Etana, Ella Lakes, and then Aradel. However, some stocks bucked the negative trend, with FGN Sukuk emerging as the top advancers. International Energy Insurance and Livestock Fields PLC also recorded gains to feature among the market's best-performing securities. In terms of trading activity, Access Holdings, FCMB Group, and Zenith Bank ranked among the most actively traded stocks, accounting for a significant share of transactions on the Nigerian exchange. Overall, the market closed in negative territory, extending the bearish sentiment that has characterized recent trading sessions. And that's Business Reports. The news hour continues. I am Yemi Adebayo.
Thank you, Yemi, for that business report. And back to the main news. The Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, says achieving sustainable development within the Niger Delta requires sound and strong legal framework that would ensure adherence to resolutions, enforcement, and implementation of laws. The governor stated this during the 2026 NDDC Law and Development Summit in Port Harcourt, with the theme, The Role of Law in Driving Sustainable Development in the Niger Delta. AIT's Chibuchi Chukwu reports that stakeholders were drawn from the bar and the bench and development experts.
The NDDC Law and Development Summit was first held in 2008, 8 years after the Interventionist Agency was established. 18 years later, the NDDC is seeking input from legal practitioners, jurists, and development experts to formulate and promote laws that would help to address the region's development challenges, mostly created by the oil and gas exploration, in order to drive sustainable development of the Niger Delta region.
For the people of the Niger Delta, a region whose vast natural wealth has for too long stood in painful contrast to the poverty and neglect of its communities, the aspirations of our people demand nothing less than a legal architecture that is bold, responsive, and fit for purpose.
As an interventionist agency, we believe law is very, very critical to our development. Because without law, there will be indiscipline. And when there is indiscipline, there will be no development.
The Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who was represented by his deputy, Ngozi Odu, commended the NDDC for engaging experts to strengthen laws that will help in achieving sustainable development of the Niger Delta region.
Sustainable growth, peace, and prosperity in our region depend greatly on strong institutions, sound legal frameworks, and effective governance.
The creation of interventionist agencies by law alone cannot deliver sustainable development in resource-dependent regions without a coherent, enforceable legal framework that clearly defines roles, ensures accountabilities.
The summit, which featured panel discussions, is expected to throw up possible suggestions that will guide future sustainable development plans. Chibuchi Chukwu, AIT News, Port Harcourt.
Bayelsa State Government has expressed its readiness to partner with the National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency to harness the state's agricultural and natural resources for economic growth and sustainable development. Governor Doye Diri gave the indication when a delegation from the agency led by its Director General and Chief Executive Officer Abdullahi Mustafa paid a courtesy visit to Government House, Yenagoa, represented by Deputy Governor Peter Akbe. The governor described Bayelsa as one of the most attractive destinations for investment in Nigeria and the West African sub-region due to its strategic location and abundant natural resources. Earlier, the Director General, Professor Mustafa, acknowledged Bayelsa's rich natural endowment and noted that the application of biotechnology could provide practical solutions to environmental challenges associated with oil exploration while promoting sustainable resource management.
I believe your agency is one agency that will drive us, or that will provide, or that will fill that gap. So everything that will cause what we have to be translated to livelihood, to progress, the government is interested in it. We want to assure you that even as you are here, with all full open hands, we receive you and we are prepared to partner with you.
Biotechnology offers Bayelsa a historic opportunity to diversify its economy and emerge as a leading bioeconomy hub in Nigeria and in West Africa in general.
The delegation also highlighted the potential of biotechnology-driven innovations to boost food production, create employment opportunities, and diversify the state's economy beyond oil dependence.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has commended the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction for its intervention programs, particularly the transition from physical cash disbursements to direct bank account payment for beneficiaries. The government says the initiative will strengthen transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the delivery of social welfare programs. Speaking during a meeting with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Bernard Doro, Governor Uzodinma described the payment reform as a significant step towards ensuring that assistance reaches intended beneficiaries in a secure and seamless manner. According to the governor, more than 65,000 young people in the state have been trained in various digital competencies, with many of the beneficiaries now working remotely for international organizations and earning sustainable incomes.
By 2035, most people that are in schools now may not have anywhere to work. Because the reality of the day is that we are even interrogating, is it necessary to go to university and spend 5 years, come out and you are not employable? Why not go to the digital hub and acquire skill within 1.5 years and to get a job and be a man and a family? So we must, because we are running a risk if we don't convert our population into advantage. The population will convert itself into a disadvantage. So prevention, they say, is better than cure. So empowerment and the investment on human capital development is the critical thing that we have seen as a priority, and that is what we are following. And I want to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the support and assistance he has given to the subnationals.
Earlier, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Bernard Doro, while commending the state government for its strides in infrastructure development and social welfare programs, expressed the ministry's willingness to partner with the state, particularly through the Imo Digital City Hub, to expand digital skills training across the state.
Governor Uba Sani's administration in Kaduna State has invested more than 1 billion naira in scholarships, student loans, and educational support programs within the last 3 years. The government says the intervention is aimed at expanding access to higher education and easing the financial burden on students across the state.
For Fatima Mohammed, a basic midwifery student at the College of Nursing Sciences, Kaduna, the state government scholarship support has provided a lifeline, reducing the financial pressure on her family and helping her pursue her educational goals. She is among thousands of beneficiaries of the Kaduna State Scholarship Scheme, which has assisted students pursuing higher education in institutions across the country.
That I am opportune to have this scholarship. I'm happy now. I don't have any worry about school.
It has impacted me by easing my financial burden.
According to the Commissioner for Information and Culture, Ahmed Miyaki, education remains a key pillar of Governor Basani's human capital development agenda. He said the administration has invested over 1 billion naira in scholarships, student loans and other educational support initiatives designed to make higher education more accessible to students.
These are part of the broader strategy to invest in human capital development and also part of the broader strategy for addressing the issue of insecurity.
Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Scholarship and Loan Board, Professor Yahaya Ibrahim, said more than 21,000 students studying in over 40 higher institutions have benefited from the program. The state government says the investments are aimed at developing a skilled and educated workforce, promoting innovation and ensuring that financial constraints do not prevent deserving students from attaining higher education. Abimaje Moses, AIT News, Kaduna.
Nigeria has called for inclusive and human-centered artificial intelligence policies that protect jobs and workers' rights while harnessing the transformative potential of technology to drive economic growth and decent work. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, made the call while delivering Nigeria's statement in response to the report of the chairperson of the governing body and the Director General of the International Labour Organization titled A Moment of Choice, Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for Decent Work, at the 114th session of the International Labour Conference in Geneva, Switzerland. Now, the minister told the gathering that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown full commitment to enhancing digital rights.
Progress in job quality has stalled. Informality affects more than 2.1 billion workers, and the transition to better quality employment.
And that was the opening speech by the Director General of the International Labour Organization. And what did the Nigerian government say in response? Take a listen.
That is why the government established the Federal Minister of Communication, Information and Innovation, Innovation and Digital Economy to drive the strategic blueprint for
Workers group and government group at the ILO have commended the Nigerian government stance in embracing digital and platform economy.
I think the core engagement is really dimensioning what is termed as, a workplace within those platform workers ecosystem.
Artificial intelligence has come to stay, and it's not for people to key into it because there's no threat that it poses, since everything done by the AI are also fished in by individuals.
With the response of the Nigerian government to the addresses by the Director General of the ILO and the President of this year's conference, it is clear that the Tinubu administration is determined to embrace the digital economy and as well as the AI. And I'm sure the government is also getting ready, fully ready, to embrace the platform economy, which, of course, is in vogue at the moment. From Geneva, Switzerland, Abulu Osemahu, AIT News.
In a renewed push to reduce preventable deaths among women, the Cross River State government has intensified its cervical cancer prevention campaign through large-scale screening and awareness initiatives. A free cervical cancer screening exercise was carried out at the General Hospital in Calabar, targeting 1,000 women in its first phase as part of the broader statewide health intervention.
The exercise conducted by the Cross River State government brought together health professionals to provide free screening, counseling and medical guidance for women. Officials say the intervention is aimed at strengthening early detection systems and reducing fatalities linked to cervical cancer, which remains one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths among women. Medical expert Dr. Egbe John described cervical cancer as a silent but highly preventable disease, warning that late presentation remains a major factor behind its high mortality rate.
Early detection saves life. That's why we choose to screen women for this particular cancer. We don't want this cancer to happen even in the first instance.
Also speaking, the Director of Nursing Services at the General Hospital in Calabar, Mbang Fabian, said the screening initiative marks the beginning of a phased statewide outreach.
If you don't identify the cancer on time, you have a real cancer propping up and subsequently death may arise.
It's not just a result kind of thing, but it is something that has also a solution. It is not finding out that you have, but it has a solution.
The Cross River State government says it remains committed to expanding preventable healthcare services and strengthening early detection programs aimed at reducing avoidable deaths among women across the state. In Emesat Ifio, AIT News, Calabar.
Now, the Chinese medical workers are providing medical assistance to African countries affected by the current Ebola outbreak. A team of Chinese experts arrived in the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo on Tuesday to help contain the spread of Ebola. The visit comes 2 weeks after the World Health Organization declared the Ebola outbreak in northeastern DRC a global health emergency. The team says it is ready to work alongside local health authorities to strengthen surveillance, prevention, and response measures. They also called for international cooperation to jointly tackle the health crisis. Immunization Program Center under the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention also spoke. And in Uganda, healthcare workers at the China-Uganda Friendship Hospital are balancing the need to prevent the spread of the virus with the need to keep essential medical services running. Strict screening measures, isolation facilities, and enhanced protective protocols have become part of daily operations.
Why have bottles been banned at the FIFA World Cup? Well, Mofomaya Barra is standing by to give us all the answers in Sports Track.
Thanks for staying with us. Football world's governing body FIFA is facing criticism after banning fans from bringing reusable water bottles into stadiums at this Summer World Cup. The late policy change comes despite growing concerns over extreme temperatures expected across several host cities. Under the new rules, bottles, cups, cans, and jars will not be allowed inside stadiums, with FIFA citing safety concerns and the need to reduce the risk of objects being thrown. FIFA says free hydration stations, cooling tents, mean-stinks areas, and water sales inside stadium would help protect spectators, but fans groups have described the decision as worrying. Last-minute change questioning whether the measures will be enough to keep supporters safe in the summer heat. The role of sports in addressing some of Nigeria's security challenges came into focus during a cultural visit by sports directors of the nation's paramilitary agencies and the police to the headquarters of the Organization of Military Sports in Africa, OSMA. Leading the delegation, Sports Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Oladipo Lawal, stressed the need for greater collaboration among security agencies, highlighting sports as a powerful tool for promoting unity, discipline, and social cohesion.
To join forces together, to synergize, so that we form a formidable workforce, especially in the area of sports. Yes, and after you can see during the meeting we've agreed, and you can even witness that is the synergizing effort they have started.
Responding, President of the Organization of Military Sports in Africa, retired Major General Abdullahi Mekano, reaffirmed the importance of sports in fostering peace and unity and mutual understanding among people from diverse backgrounds.
Because we have a lot of talent
of sportsmen and women within this organization. I want to focus on that view to harness and synergize our workforce to have more sportsmen and women within ourselves. And sport brings unity, understanding, and cooperation among those who are in sports and also even those outside the sport arena.
Major General Mikael also expressed appreciation to Nigerian service chiefs for their continued support of OSMA programs, noting that their commitment has contributed significantly to the advancement of military sports across the continent. Manchester City are considering legal action against Real Madrid presidential candidate Enrique Koeman, claimed he would sign Erling Haaland if elected, and publicly displayed a Madrid shirt bearing the striker's name. Koeman suggested Haaland has a release clause and wants to join the Spanish giants, claims that were immediately dismissed by both the players' representatives and Manchester City. The Premier League champions insist there is no such clause and say they are exploring legal options over the unauthorized use of Haaland's image and name. The controversy could have implications for all parties involved. City are seeking to protect their players' image rights, while Real Madrid may face unwanted attention despite comments coming from the presidential candidate rather than the club itself. For Haaland, the episode foils fresh transfer speculation despite no indication that he intends to leave the Etihad Stadium. That's Sports Track on the News Hour. Thanks for watching. I am Omofoma Ibari.
And that's the News Hour on AIT. I am Utbel Moran.
And I am Adora Sidney Jack. Thank you for staying with us, and thank you for always in this.
Thank you for doing it.
At Chabindu camp outside Goma, Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF, has set up tents where dozens of displaced persons are being processed. They can also participate in listening sessions with psychologists. Rose has been receiving care for depression. She blames the war for her mental state, but says her journey to recovery has begun.
When someone flees war, they are very disturbed, and that was my case too. But here we have been taught how to forget everything we've left behind and how to calm our thoughts.
Rose is not alone. According to MSF, living in camps around Goma is a challenging environment for the hundreds of thousands of displaced people, especially women. Every day, medical staff say about 70 female survivors of sexual assault visit the 6 MSF health facilities in camps near Goma. Faustin Hakizimana is the head of Bulengo camp. He says the need for psychosocial support is more urgent than ever.
When we looked into the real problem, we found out that many have been disturbed by the horrors of war and others have been raped when they look for wood in the forests, which is why so many women here suffer of mental illness.
Gerlas Mulekia, a clinical psychologist with Médecins Sans Frontières at the Lushagala camp, says more help is needed.
Most of the people we see show signs of anxiety and post-traumatic problems. We run 3 group sessions a day, and each group is made up of 10 people, for a total of 30 people a day. If it goes on like this, we'll need to expand the activities to try and meet as many of the needs as possible.
Psychosocial care is available to both genders, but officials say most of the people taking advantage of the services are women whose mental health challenges are impacting their ability to care for their children. Zanem Netizaidi, VOA News, Goma.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live, and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Ogun Command 1 has again intercepted goods worth millions of naira from smugglers about to leave the country. Also on customs reports, Semeboda continue to impound consignment from would-be importers who don't want to pay duty to the federal government. Plus more reports. I am Egeseme Itiye. Stay tuned. The customs contingents continue to move and continue to promote customs well-being all over the country. So the customs will continue to meet revenue targets as well as fight against smuggling activities at the nation's borderline. The CG also commended the management for a job well done.
The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi II, has acknowledged President Bola Tinubu's public commendation of the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, as evidence of the confidence reposed in the customs boss. He described his leadership of the Nigerian Customs Service and impact on community developments as a source of pride to the ancient Ife Kingdom and the Modakeke community. The monarch stated during the annual Eid-el-Kabir gathering hosted by the CGC at his residence in Modakeke, Osun State.
Well, I can go on and on. The CGC of Custom, Dr. Bashiru Adewale, a subject, a true son of the soil of this noble kingdom where it all started. You can see he's a unifier. We're all united as a community, and this is what we've been doing on a yearly basis, and we will never stop. Every time during the Eid festival, I leave my palace. It's very, very critical for me. I don't even go to private houses within the kingdom because they all come to the palace. But I say all the time, he's a worthy leader who is at the helm of affairs of the Nigerian Customs Service. We're very proud of him. We're very proud of things he's doing. Look at what Mr. President said about him. It's something that is written on marble and will last forever. The same that he's doing in the community. You can see how he's been a unifier, bringing all of us together. And we are very pleased with him. What we need to do is we continue to pray for him. This is the House of Representatives for the Federal Constituency. and this is the chairman of APC. And you can see other leaders of Modakeke, they are here. All the leaders are here, you see them. We're all here to support what he's doing. So
the event attracted traditional rulers, political leaders, senior customs officers, community stakeholders, family members, friends, and associates.
Everybody has come to see that the work, being not at home, always traveling, always with his work, has actually paid off. And the success is something, is a decision we have made yesterday, not today. And that's why we are saying we are celebrating that success today. But he has actually done all the work yesterday. And everybody is coming to see that for every dedication, for every service, there's always a reward. And the reward is what everybody is benefiting. It has come to Modakeke, it has come to Osun State, it has come to Nigeria. It has made Nigeria proud. And that's a testament to even the president has actually accomplished and testified that he's doing well and is happy with him.
Somebody who is very, very ambitious. Very, very ambitious. That is the Comptroller General of Customs now. It's not a big surprise to me because it deserves it. Wherever you, whatever you ask him to do, he always do it diligently and with all seriousness. When he started the customs, he was very studious. He was always doing one course or the other brilliantly, and it's not too surprising that he got to this level. Again, I want to say that in spite of the fact that he is in that position, he doesn't look down on anybody. He loves our children, young people. He has sponsored a lot of young people out of secondary school, university, professional courses, and so on and so forth. So he is a father to all these young generations coming behind. So we love him. We pray for him every day, and we are proud of him.
It's a leader that wants to see you, grow. He believes in officers' development, and also is a disciplined man. Not only officers' development, he believes in developing Nigeria, and he believes in making Nigeria Customs Service better than the way it was. So he's a good man. He's a man of honor, he's a man of dignity, he's someone that I respect, and I will forever respect him, and I will forever be loyal to him.
The CGC is a man with a slim hand full of kindness. Full of kindness. There's never a dull moment with him. When it is time to work, he's serious about it. When you deviate, he corrects you straight in, not minding the cordial relationship. But after then, we go on with our normal life. No grudges, just tell you straight. Otula, this is what I want you to do. And that's it.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
The Nigerian Customs Service, in collaboration with the World Bank Group, has commenced a 2-week technical assistance mission on post-clearance audit (PCA) under the Accelerated Revenue Mobilization Reform (ARMOR) program as part of efforts to strengthen compliance management, enhance revenue assurance, and facilitate trade through modern audit practices. The workshop is being held at the service headquarters in Maitama, Abuja. Speaking at the opening ceremony, on behalf of the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, Assistant Comptroller General Babatunde Olomu described the mission as a major milestone in the service's ongoing modernization drive and its vision of becoming a technology-driven, intelligence-led, and globally competitive customs administration. Olomu noted that customs administrations across the world are increasingly adopting intelligence-led, risk-based, and post-clearance interventions aimed at promoting voluntary compliance while supporting legitimate trade and economic development.
The Semi-Customs Command has continued to fight smugglers operating along the nation's borderline.
The Nigerian Customs Service Semi-Area Command said it generated 9.729 billion naira revenue, representing a 448% increase compared to the 2.18 billion naira recorded within the same period. Speaking during a media briefing held at the command's headquarters on Monday, the Customs Area Comptroller Abdullahi Keila, attributed the increase to strengthen compliance measures, improved stakeholder collaboration, intensified anti-revenue leakage strategies, and the deployment of the B. Odogu Unified Customs Management System.
At Semi-Area Command, we remain resolute in our commitment to facilitating lawful trade while ensuring strict enforcement against illicit activities capable of undermining national economic interests. In the area of anti-smuggling operations, the command has sustained aggressive intelligence-led enforcement activities aimed at combating economic sabotage, protecting local industries, and safeguarding public health and national security. Within the last 2 months, coordinated patrols and surveillance operations conducted along the Semi-Badagry corridor and adjoining routes resulted in the interception of several prohibited and restricted items. Notably, the command seized 800 parcels of suspected cannabis sativa, a narcotic substance prohibited under National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act and Section 245, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023. The seized narcotics are currently being processed for formal handing over to the National Drug Enforcement Agency, NDLE, for further investigation and prosecution. In addition to that, the command intercepted substantial quantities of unregistered pharmaceutical products, including codeine-based cough syrups and various sexual enhancement drugs, lacking certification from the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. These items contravene the provisions of Section 55, subsection 1C of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023. The products seized include 1 carton containing 55 bottles of Ultimate Plus Meca syrup, 100 ml each, 88 packs of 99 Bullets herbal medicine, 30 ml each, 10 cartons of Ultimate Plus Meca sildenafil citrate, 200 mg, 14 cartons of Super Sexy sildenafil citrate, 200 mg, 14 cartons of Machine Man sildenafil citrate, 200 mg. Quantities of bottom-up sildenafil citrate, 200 mg, 100 packs of Tramakine, and 100 packs of Tempendol. These products will also be formally handed over to NAFDAC for appropriate regulatory action.
I'll begin by commending the efforts of the Customs Controller, Semi-Area Command, for the level of collaboration, synergy that we have, that exists between the Customs Service and the NDLEA. Our officers are on the watch 247 along the Semi-Badagry corridor. The eagle eye of our officers is based, mostly on credible intelligence. So our officers are watchful, to disrupt the network of narcotics, this illicit smuggled goods that come in. So it's based on credible intelligence.
The command recorded significant seizures of other prohibited and restricted goods in separate enforcement operations. These include 2,000 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 50 kg each, 340 kegs of 25 liters each of foreign vegetable oil, 103 kegs of 30 liters each of premium motor spirit, 993 cartons of foreign spaghetti, and 250 bales of used clothing, and the duty paid value of all the aforementioned intercepted items is 501,845,772 naira only. These seizures underscores the Command Zero Tolerance stance against smuggling and reaffirm determination to protect the nation's economy, support local industry, preserve public safety, and enforce compliance with extents, import and export regulations.
Keila disclosed that the command generated over 9 billion naira within the review period, an increase of 7.61 billion naira over the corresponding period. According to him, the remarkable performance also reflected the renewed dedication, vigilance, and operational efficiency of officers and men of the command.
The Ogun 1 Command has again impounded a luxurious bus carrying contraband within the country. The controller says that its men are ever ready to work with any government operators that are ready to work with the government. It speaks more on a number of issues.
The Nigerian Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command has intercepted a luxury bus conveying military camouflage uniforms and large quantities of cannabis indica, popularly known as Canadian Loud and Colorado, with a combined street value of 259.68 million naira. Speaking during a press conference held at the command's headquarters in Idiroko on Monday, the acting Customs Area Comptroller, Deputy Comptroller O.O. Afeni, said the seizure was made following an intelligence-led operation along the Shagamu-Benin Highway. Afeni disclosed that the interception was carried out by officers on what he described as a precise intelligence patrol.
On the 17th of May 2026, at about 1:30 a.m. hours, based on credible intelligence, our vigilant patrol team, while on precise intelligence patrol along Shagamu-Benin Highway, was able to trail and successfully intercept the target luxurious bus without registration number, belonging to a transport company. The said vehicle was immediately moved to Ogun 1 Command Headquarters Idiroko for physical examination. After 100% physical examination, the following items were discovered: 197 camouflage trousers and shorts concealed within unmarked cartons, 5 camouflage two-piece up and down, 32 mixed camouflage innerwear, 32 camouflage tops, 154 synthesized strain of cannabis indica, Canadian Loud, coconut size, 7 parcels of synthesized strain of cannabis indica, Colorado, heterogeneous items that are pending investigation and system check, which we inform further actions to be taken. The estimated street value of the Canadian Loud, Colorado, and camouflage is put at 259 million naira, 680,000. This seizure is a testament to the vigilance of our officers. The combination of illicit drugs and military regalia in a single catch suggests a coordinated attempt to undermine national security. The seizure of military uniform is particularly concerning, given the current security climate. Unauthorized possession of such apparel is often linked to impersonation, where criminals disguise themselves as security personnel to commit atrocities or facilitate the movement of contraband. Preliminary investigation suggests that uniforms were intended for distribution to unauthorized individuals, potentially for use in impersonation or criminal activities.
I want to commend the Nigerian Customs Service for this operation, because it is not just about the border patrol now. It's about an intelligence-driven operation, because this thing was intercepted along the road. That means they must have gotten a very good intelligence, processed and traced it before they were able to make this very good seizure. So I thank the controller once again. This is a recurrent decimal. Just about the last 2 weeks, we received a very bounty harvest of seizures almost 5 tons. So that one is already at least taken out of circulation. But this one is more important and more admired because even the suspects are involved. And that means the people who are committing the act are going to be brought to book.
Also on customs support, some command in the country has continued to implement government measures approved by the management of Nigerian Customs Service. They also said Nigerian Customs Service will continue to generate more revenue for the country.
The acting Customs Area Controller of the Nigerian Customs Service Port and Terminal Multi-Services Limited, PTML, Area Command, Deputy Controller of Customs, Nura Miko, has called for stronger collaboration with terminal operators and other stakeholders to enhance trade facilitation, improve cargo clearance efficiency, and surpass existing revenue targets.
This responsibility is privilege and a challenge that I am fully committed to accomplish. As I assume this role, I see tremendous opportunities ahead. Our operating environment is changing rapidly with new technologies, evolving markets, and shifting expectations. What remains constant, however, is our shared commitment to a seamless trade facilitation. Trade facilitation will be top priority under my stewardship. When trade flows seamlessly, we achieve a faster cargo turnaround, lower clearance costs, and increased patronage by importers and stakeholders. This aligns directly with the policy thrust of the Controller General of Customs, Controller General Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, PSC Daga, FNIR. Our mandate goes beyond service delivery. We will deliver practical solutions that simplify your process, strengthen our business, and make your compliance goal achievable. To succeed, we need our absolute compliance and cooperation. Our cooperation and yours cooperation is very important and it's very key to us. I am aware of your good records of compliance, which have earned a great testimony. Let us build on that foundation and grow it further. I'm here to listen, to collaborate with you, and to ensure that every decision we take in this place with our stakeholder at the center of the success for a greater productivity and efficiency. My office as area controller shall remain open to every sort of engagement, dialogue, and partnership. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please do not hesitate to reach out.
DC Miko made the call during his maiden visit to the Grimaldi PTML terminal in Lagos, where he met with the management of Grimaldi PTML and other stakeholders. He commended the management of PTML and Grimaldi for their investments and commitment to positioning PTML as Nigeria's leading roll-on-roll port facility, noting that the terminal has distinguished itself through high security standards and compliance with international regulations. Highlighting PTML's record of a 2-hour cargo clearance time for compliant rural imports, Miko challenged stakeholders to work collectively towards achieving even shorter clearance timelines without compromising integrity.
The federal government's decision to abolish the long-standing practice of compulsory 3-month pre-retirement leave has sent shockwaves across ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, with the Nigerian Customs Service emerging as one of the most directly affected institutions. In a circular signed by the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Walson Jack, the government clarified that the Public Service Rules, PSR, only mandates a 3-month notice of retirement, not a leave entitlement. Officers are expected to remain in active service during this period, save for attending pre-retirement seminars or when granted leave under existing regulations. This effectively nullifies subsistent circulars, including the NCS's own directive, circular number HRD/2025/048, which had compelled officers to disengage 3 months before the retirement date. For the Nigerian Customs Service, the policy reversal creates a significant interlude in its succession and personnel management plans.
Just before the end of this week's edition of Program Support, we got a report where the management of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to wage war against smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. For me, it is 70 here. Thanks for watching. Just before the end of this week's edition of the program Customs Support, we brought a report where the Nigerian Customs Service has continued to seize consignment for smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. For me, it is 70 here. Thanks for watching.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, AIT_live and AIT Livestream 1 on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
The issues as they break. The multitude, the political figures, the state and non-state actors.
It's a serious threat to democracy. And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting
the scheming.
This is not a period we should say bow and go.
Every part of this country is equal.
The intrigues.
There can be no one person that is bigger than the party.
Deft moves and the momentous declaration.
We didn't get any protection. I'm not particularly against anybody.
We track and capture them all.
I don't believe it was for that reason in politics.
Follow in-depth analysis and no-holds-barred interviews.
Armed forces of the country is well capable. They need the political will.
Are they just waking up from sleep? Is there complacency?
Feel the pulse of happenings in the political arena on AIT Democracy Today. Widely acclaimed authority on politics. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
Hello and welcome to Health Digest, your go-to program for timely, relevant, and people-focused health conversations. I am Ukemere Tukwa. Today's edition is highly significant as we spotlight maternal mental health in line with global conversations around the world. Maternal Health Day marked every May 6th. Motherhood, as you know, is often celebrated as a joyful journey, but for many women, it also comes with emotional, psychological, and physical challenges that are not often talked about, from postpartum depression and anxiety and the pressure of caregiving. Talk about it. I have a toddler. Now, maternal mental health remains a critical but under-discussed issue. On today's program, we'll be exploring this theme from different angles, bringing together stories, insight, and innovations shaping health outcome both locally and globally. Now, let's get started. We begin with our health news segment, where we bring you a roundup of key developments shaping the health sector, both at home and around the world.
The conference featured free medical diagnostic tests and keynote speeches aimed at promoting preventive healthcare and raising awareness on wellness practices. The Director General of the National Institute for Sport, Comrade Philip Shaibu, stressed that health remains critical in today's economic realities, urging Nigerians to prioritize both physical and mental well-being through regular medical checkups. He further emphasized hepatitis B awareness, encouraging Nigerians to know their status, while commending the free testing conducted at the event.
If you must employ anybody in your house, make sure you check that person on hepatitis B. If you must employ a gate man, check hepatitis B. If you must employ anybody, HR, all offices that have HR, one of the medical conditions you must check beyond BP is hepatitis B, because it is contagious.
Keynote speaker Dr. Abdulrahman M. Huzaifa of Dr. Fazer Global Health and Wellness Center emphasized the importance of proper pharmaceutical practices, including manufacturing standards, storage, and transportation.
Before a drug is manufactured, there must be a process. Where are the critical manpowers? Where are the pharmacists? Where is the medical laboratory, microbiologist? Where is the biochemist? Do you have the laboratory? Do you have the equipment? Is the equipment of the right standard? Then what is the qualification of these people? What is the documentation look like? In-process control, finished product control. These are good manufacturing practices. Sometimes we call it current good manufacturing practice. That is the review that has taken place over the years.
The conference ended with a renewed commitment by stakeholders to strengthen public health systems, improve regulatory compliance, and promote safer healthcare practices across Nigeria.
I hope you enjoyed that. You're still watching Health Digest, and I am Ukemere Tukwa. Nigeria has a HIV prevalence of 1.4% among adults, with approximately 2 million people living with HIV. Annually, there are about 22,000 new HIV infections and 15,000 AIDS-related deaths. Children aged 0 to 14 accounting for 15,000 of these deaths. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS held an event educating young people on HIV/AIDS prevention, emphasizing that AIDS is not a death sentence. The key focuses included the abstinence and safer practices, promoting condom use, testing, and reducing stigma.
The objective of this conference is to create awareness, is to discuss how the youth engage with prevention strategies, and then 3, to discuss ways of empowering the youth. Because you empower them, then you're enabling them to make informed choices and better choices.
It also had students involved in advocacy by creating the platform for discussions, creating awareness, and launched the initiative PMTCT, Acceleration Committee, to reach more communities.
I want to start maybe engaging into any activities, any such activities. I would first of all know those contraceptives that we all have here. We have pills, we have birth pills, we have condom. There are many more. So you first of all have knowledge concerning it, and then I feel when you do, then you know how to use it to save yourself from getting STD.
NACA aims to end AIDS in Nigeria by 2030, urging collective action, equity, and sustained funding. With World AIDS Day on the 1st of December and the theme Take the Right Path, Sustain HIV Response, Stop HIV Among Children, NACA has called on Nigerians to break the stigma, support testing, and join the fight. I had a discussion with the Director General of NACA, Dr. Temitokbe Ilori. Today on Nature's Healers, we're looking at red gold. Now, in many Nigerian homes, it's known as Zobo. Botanical name hibiscus. It is more than just a refreshing drink. It's a plant packed with powerful health benefits, rich in antioxidants and vitamin C. Hibiscus helps the body fight harmful free radicals that can damage cells and weaken the immune system. This helps support immunity, reduce inflammation, and promote overall wellness. Hibiscus is also widely recognized for its heart health benefit. Studies suggest that compounds found in the plant may help relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and even lower high blood pressure, making it beneficial for cardiovascular health. Beyond the heart, hibiscus may also support healthy digestion and metabolism. Its natural diuretic properties help the body remove excess fluid, reducing bloating while supporting digestive and liver functions. But while hibiscus offers several wellness benefits, experts advise moderation, especially for individuals with low blood pressure or certain health conditions. From supporting heart health to boosting immunity, hibiscus, yes, red gold, continues to prove that some of nature's most powerful healers can be found in everyday plants. When discussing pregnancy, we often focus on the mother, but experts say that a father's health has a lot to play, and it plays not just a minor role, but a very important role. A man's lifestyle before conception, including his diet, stress levels, smoking, alcohol use, and overall health, can affect sperm quality and influence pregnancy outcomes, such as premature birth or low birth weight. Emotional support from fathers is equally important. Supportive partners can help reduce stress and anxiety during pregnancy, improving the mother's mental and emotional well-being throughout the journey. And when it comes to determining a baby's sex, yes, science shows that the father is responsible. While the mother's egg always carries the X chromosome, the father's sperm carries an X or Y chromosome, meaning he and only he can determine whether the baby will be a male or a female. Yes, for all of you that have those questions about male children, now you know. Experts say understanding this can help challenge harmful beliefs and blame women for the sex of a child. Now you know better, do better, and just know that it's all God. Welcome right back. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, as we focus on maternal health today, it's important to hear directly from those living the experience. In our chat with the expert segment, we're joined by Uyime Asuko, who shares her journey as a new mother. I know it's an moment, from the emotional realities of early motherhood to the milestone lessons and the critical role of early nurturing in a child's development. Here's that stimulating conversation. welcome right back to Health Digest. I did tell you that we're going to be speaking with a very, very interesting person. I mean, there's someone in this world who looks at her like she is the most important person in the world, aside from God. I'm talking about her baby. She is a new mom. Her name is Mrs. Asukwo. Mrs. Asukwo, it is such a pleasure to have you on Health Digest.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It is exciting. So let's get straight to it. Last, you probably remember yourself when we talk about phases in life, and the pictures I saw, you were under the hot sun with your architectural gear, you know, on the side, and now you change diapers for a living. You're a nursery school teacher. You're a cook, you're up at night, whether you want or not. When you used to be forced for night vigils, you used to complain, but now natural. You do it naturally. How do you feel with the word M-U-M? Some people say M-O-M, but it's called mom.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been an amazing one. And the transition from my career to being a mom has been nothing that no one has prepared me for. But the journey of it up until 9 months now, my baby is 9 months, just today actually. Thank you. So it has been quite challenging. But one thing that I do know is that most times it comes to you at ease, because you're asking yourself, you don't know what you're doing. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is she going to be alive? Is she dead? What's happening? But at the end of the day, you just know that whatever God has given you, you're always doing it right.
Absolutely amazing. So you mentioned some interesting points. There's that first time try at everything. How did you find it mentally? Because I know I have a toddler myself, which you already know, a very interesting one, and I know that at night I would literally check whether he's still breathing, if he coughs, if he's unable to poo or something.
Every symptom.
Everything wants to make me go wild. How did you go through that phase, and can you share some of the experiences that made you say, wow, God, I mean, Mom, I love you?
Honestly, I think we never really get the full grasp of motherhood and childhood until you become one yourself. So for me, it was more or less like a trial and error method. I just knew that the baby would be fine, but there were always those times where you'll be Googling everything, the color of the poop, the cough, the sounds that they make at night. And you know, the newborn phase, the 1 month to the 3 or 4 months, it's always very hectic because you don't exactly know what you're doing. I mean, yes, you've been surrounded by children, you've been surrounded by other babies, but once it's yours and you can't give it back to the mother, you have to make sure that you do it right. So I think that initial phase, it was challenging. I was always asking questions. I was always crying. Every time the baby would cry, I would cry too, because we were both new at this. But over time, we got to understand each other. I got to understand that with or without me, actually, she's going to be okay. But I'm just a primary health giver. I have to make sure that everything is in line. But look at her today. She's 9 months and she's all over the whole place.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. I can see that you've had to learn, unlearn, relearn, and trust your instincts. Absolutely amazing. Would you say that this phase, your maternal phase, has helped you rediscover or helped you to assess and better know your personality and yourself? I mean, you used to be in offices making calls, getting goods and different things, and now, you know, it's a whole different ballgame. When you look at your watch right now, it's not for meetings, it's for feeding times. Honestly. Would you say that it has helped you learn or get to know a different part of your personality? Did you know this part of Mrs. Asukwo before?
Well, you know, it's an unending journey, and it's one that I'm grateful for. Actually, one of the best advice that I got throughout this period is that forget who you were before and embrace who you're becoming now. The skills that I had before were based off on instincts, were based off on, you know, my career, were based off on things that I had picked up. But now the things that I do are based upon how best to help this human being. So it has really reshaped me. It has really guided me. It has really, you know, put me on the spot and made me the better version of who I was and who I am becoming becoming. So I think one thing that I live by is forget who you were and embrace who you are becoming. Because if you hold on to who you were before, you'll never get to experience yourself, who this child has made you, or who this new role has put you into.
Absolutely interesting. So I have an interesting photo that I will not be sharing, but at the time it was of my toddler when I was in the restroom having my private time. He was literally there. They follow you every single
Mommy's
place.
handbag.
So how do you manage it? What would you say you have gone through rather psychologically and mentally? Because I just had a chat with a mental health expert, and just like how it takes 9 months for your body to, keep and nurture this human, there are hormones that are flying here and there. And with the conversation we've had so far, I'm sure everyone's like, oh, looks easy peasy. Let me get one of those little things.
It is not.
Let's get the mental aspect of this and the not so rosy aspects and changes that you have now come to understand how you navigated this experiences. Let's look at the mental aspect of maternal health.
So that is another interesting fact, that no one actually prepares you for that, because we all see motherhood as, oh, she's pregnant, oh, she gives birth, it's a boy, it's a girl, and the facade of it all. But another really intriguing part that I got to experience, and that most women have experienced, is the mental factor that you go through, the mental process, because like you rightly said, it takes your body and your whole being 9 months to create another human being. So it's not just the physical work, you have the mental work, you have the psychological work as well. So once this human being is out, it takes you another 1 year to actually get your mental health back. And if you don't put in work, if you don't put in all the necessary steps, you can just become a vegetable. I remember when I was going through it, I kept on asking myself, why didn't they tell me about this? It was just the, oh, she's pregnant, oh, the baby is here. But what we really need to know is the mental aspect, the places that you actually get to lose your self-esteem and get it back, the times that you actually forget things, not just like you're making it up, you actually forget.
So the mommy brain fog is actually real. Mommy brain forgetfulness is real.
It's actually real. Sometimes it even gets worse, the part that you forget your own name. Yeah, because in different people, in different women, I think it differs. But the main thing is that you will go through that postpartum, you will go through that depression, you will go through that time of you don't know who you are, you don't even know what you're doing or what is happening to you. But one thing that I did that was actually helping me was that because I'm a music lover, so I tried to always listen to music and remind myself of who I was and what I loved doing. All those times where I couldn't sleep at night, or all those times where it just seemed like a little blur, I would always play my favorite albums, and I would do things that would remind myself of myself, either cooking a meal, staying with loved ones, chatting. And God so blessed my little nephew, he was always around to, auntie here, auntie take this. And having family, having people that support you is one of the best ways to also get your mental health back.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. I hope we get to see the person that changed, the prefixes in your name very soon. She sounds absolutely delightful. What has been your experience when it comes to, postpartum support?
Well, similarly, we're not far from the Igbos. We also have something that we also call Omugo. Okay. Should I take it again?
Keep talking, yeah.
Okay. So we also have something that we also call Omugo in the Akwa Ibom tribe. So navigating that time, I think, yes, my mother was around, my siblings were around, and it was just a chaotic period, but just having those people to guide you, because you cannot do motherhood alone. You cannot, it's a blur. I mean, the first time you come back from the hospital to the time that, she starts being aware of who you are, you need that support. You need your mother, you need a supportive spouse or a partner with you, and it just helps you navigate properly, because if you do it alone, you definitely forget most things, like I spoke about, the brain fog and all that. So you need people around to support you, especially in those early times of the baby.
Interesting. And what about on the psychological aspect? Was there at any point that you said, okay, I think I need to seek out professional, viewpoints on certain things, because it says it takes a village, not just to raise a kid. I mean, we're all children of God, so we're all babies. Was there any point where you decided, no, I think at this point I need to get counsel outside my primary circle?
Definitely. I think that was about the second month, because I was also a victim of medical negligence. So I kept on having episodes where I would relapse, I would convulse, I would have, different things happening to me at the same time. I just lost my thought of sight as she came on stage. Yeah, so this is little her. Hi, Kimi.
Wow, look who decided to join us on Health Digest. I know immediately the mom speaks, she definitely loses her focus. She was born to be a star.
Hi, baby. How are you?
Definitely born to be a star. Yes, so this is the 9 months journey that we are currently speaking on.
Hello.
Kiki, say hello. Look at the camera. I know mommy is so beautiful. This is Kiki. This is Kiki, and this is her mom. Absolutely beautiful.
Hi,
I know she's yours and she wants to be held by you. So please, you can finish up with her.
Okay, so this is our little bundle of joy that has changed me, tested me, and made me into this beautiful person that I am today. So I think in closing, I could just say that it's something that you have to experience. It's something that will really test you, your real character, your real strength, and your real abilities. And most of all, they bring joy, because I wouldn't have this any other way. Every day that I look at her, I'm just so blessed that God has made it possible for her to come our way. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that. You make this journey look so beautiful, but thank you for giving us the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, and the absolutely perfect plan of God for motherhood and maternal health. Thank you so much, Mrs.
Thank you
Asukwa,
so much.
It's been such a pleasure. As we mark Mental Maternal Health Day, the message is clear. Supporting mothers is both a job that includes care, mental and emotional well-being. Just as vital it is for mothers as it is for families, communities, and as a whole. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Health Digest. I'm Ukemere Tukwa. Remain blessed and not stressed. It's been such a pleasure. Bye-bye.
It's been 3 years since President Bola Tinubu was sworn in as a Nigerian leader. He promised to fix the economy, address rising insecurity, create jobs, and fight for the interests of citizens both home and abroad. As President Tinubu seeks re-election in 2027, has he delivered on his promises? And does his performance so far merit a second term? AIT News begins a special May 29 review countdown series, where we interrogate the Tinubu administration's deliverables across various sectors of national life. Join us on the AIT News Hour from May 18, 2026.
Electricity drives economies. Without it, factories shut down and jobs disappear. Yet, for decades, Nigeria's power sector has been trapped in a cycle of low generation, fragile transmission, and broken distribution networks. When President Tinubu took power in May 2023, the nation of over 200 million people survived on a meager 4,000 to 4,500 megawatts. Experts blame the lack of money, heavy debt, and obsolete equipment. But President Bola Tinubu sounded ultra-confident.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity. And you will not pay.
Tinubu even went further to pledge to Nigerians that if he does not fix the electricity problem, he should not be voted if he seeks re-election.
A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
The administration quickly signed the Electricity Act into law. This historic move broke the federal monopoly, allowing states to generate and distribute their own power. Billions were funneled into metering, new substations, and private partnerships. In May 2023, when the president took over, power generation was between 4,000 to 4,005 megawatt average and 5,800 megawatt peak. Comparatively, by May 2026, it is at 5,000 plus megawatt average and 6,000 plus megawatt peak. But statistics do not light up homes. Despite a marginal increase in generation, the national grid remains notoriously fragile. It collapses repeatedly, plunging the entire country into darkness at the slightest strain.
You have 2 hours in a day, sometimes an hour a day.
If you don't get money, no way to buy fuel. You will stay. If you come to work, you will stay idle. In a difficult time.
The data in 2023 shows multiple grid collapses. In 2024, multiple outages and transmission failures. In 2025 and 2026, more grid collapses totaling about 15 since the president took over. Engineers say the grid cannot handle the power currently being generated. Transmission lines are weak, old, and prone to breaking. Then came the financial shock of 2024. The government slashed subsidies and introduced a tiered tariff system.
We may not be paying the reflective tariff on electricity, cost reflective tariff on electricity, but the leakages have identified as far as technical losses. When you generate electricity, the losses that is being incurred before it even gets to the distribution level is huge. And the incentive for these technical losses is because there are no check and balances for efficiency.
Band A, 20 hours minimum daily supply will pay the highest tariff. Band B's, 60 hours minimum daily supply. Band C, 12 hours minimum daily supply. Band D, 8 hours minimum daily supply. And Band E, 4 hours daily. High tariffs, estimated bills, low supply.
We enter Band A, they give us the assurance that there will be stable lights. There will be nothing like a power outage or this and that. Whenever we have any power failure, we should call them on phone. But these days, it's not like that.
Since 1999, trillions have been invested. This Hello House, this chamber, we're going to come to you with difficult decisions. Your constituents will run to you. Please tell them to bear with us. There may be small pain, but we'll get there. Because we are going to have a disciplined approach to addressing this. I'll come and present to you what our plan is. We clear milestones. If you don't see this in 3 months, it means you won't see 6 months. So you must see the 3 months and you must hold us accountable for it.
Government defenders split for patience. They argue that fixing decades of rot takes time and state-led power markets will eventually pay off. But for millions of citizens, patience is running thin. 3 years into the administration, power supply remains the ultimate test of government performance. Yemi Adebayo, AIT News, Abuja.
It's been 3 years since President Bola Tinubu was sworn in as a Nigerian leader. He promised to fix the economy, address rising insecurity, create jobs, and fight for the interests of citizens both home and abroad. As President Tinubu seeks re-election in 2027, Has he delivered on his promises? And does his performance so far merit a second term? AIT News begins a special May 29 review countdown series, where we interrogate the Tinubu administration's deliverables across various sectors of national life. Join us on the AIT News Hour from May 18.
Hello and welcome to the program. Good morning, everyone, and it's so nice to be with you again today. I am Nancy Naji. This morning, we'll be turning our attention to a critical pillar of economic growth, wealth creation, and investors' protection, Nigeria's capital market. I always talk about it every day. You know, there's a segment on this program that I focus on the capital market. But today, at a time when the country is pursuing economic growth, transformation, attracting long-term investment, and expanding private sector participation, the capital market is expected to play an even bigger role in mobilizing our capital, funding enterprises, and driving sustainable development. And this morning, I'll be bringing you the conversation that everyone in the market place should take note of. I'll be sitting down exclusively with Dr. Emomotimi Agama, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's the SEC, the man at the helm of Nigeria's capital market transformation. I'll be asking him about the Investment and Securities Act of 2025, 1 year and 3 months in. Also what the road to T+1 settlement cycle, which started on June 1, means for everyday investors. How is the SEX reform agenda, how it's translating into real market depth, and what it truly takes to build a kind of capital market that can anchor a $1 trillion economy. I'll also be exploring the Commission strategy for attracting new listings, new investors, most importantly, the younger generation into the marketplace, deepening investors' participation, regulating digital and crypto assets, strengthening investors' protection, and cracking down on the growing threat of Ponzi schemes that continue to prey on unsuspecting Nigerians. You know, I always say it oftentimes, regularly on this show, don't invest in Ponzi scheme. Don't invest in a pyramid scheme. So we'll be looking at that today. So for investors, for entrepreneurs, for policymakers, and anyone interested in the future of Nigeria's economy, this is a conversation you do not want to miss. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV, for exclusive interviews, market insights, and on-demand content. So, but let's get you caught up with the big stories shaping our business, finance, and the global economy. Let's begin with the news. As I tell you, that President Bola Tinubu has approved the commencement of Nigeria's 2026 all-block licensing round. According to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. The exercise is expected to begin by the third quarter of 2026, with preparations already underway. NUPRC Chief Executive Orishemeiwa Eyeson said strong investors' interest in the current 2025 bid round signals renewed confidence in Nigeria's upstream oil sector. Nigeria has recorded a sharp rise in foreign capital inflows in the first quarter of 2026, attracting $10.37 billion. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the figure represents an 84% increase compared to the same period last year. Portfolio investment accounted for over 95% of total inflows, with money market instruments and bonds leading the way. The banking sector received the largest share of investment, while the United Kingdom remained Nigeria's top source of foreign capital. Nigeria's foreign exchange market recorded a 31% month-on-month increase in inflows to $3.7 billion in May. According to FMDQ data, the improvement was driven by stronger export earnings and sustained foreign portfolio investment inflows. Export proceeds more than doubled, helping to boost market liquidity and provide support for the Naira. Let's quickly take you through the markets. Let's take a quick look at how the markets closed yesterday and how they are shaping up. In the money markets, we saw that liquidity remained robust despite a decline in system balances, with the overnight rate edging higher to 22.19%, while the open buyback rate held steady at 22%. In the fixed income space, investors' appetite remained strong, as the DMO's 1 trillion Naira Treasury bills auction attracted over 2 trillion Naira in subscriptions. Let's take a look at the global market updates card. And we're seeing that demand was heavily concentrated in the 364-day bill. Yields were mixed as OMO, and I told you what OMO meant yesterday, and NTB secondary market rates eased on buying interest. In the foreign exchange market, the Naira appreciated to by 0.28% to close at 1,357 Naira, 26 kobo to the dollar at the official window, while external reserves rose to about $49.87 billion. On the Nigerian exchange, the all-share index lost 1.44%, dragged lower by sell-offs in MTN Nigeria, WAPCO, as well as First Holdco, even as trading activity surged. If we take a look at other markets across the world, investors globally are remaining cautious as geopolitical tensions in the Middle East weighed on sentiments. We're seeing that U.S. futures traded lower. European stocks advanced at this morning. Most Asian markets closed in the red, while gold gained and oil prices eased on hopes of a broader regional ceasefire. So that's it for the markets at this time. Let's take a break so that we delve right into our conversation. I have a lot to chew with the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama. He will be joining me after the break for an exclusive. So many things to talk about. I told you about that earlier in my intro. So don't forget to join us on all our social media platforms. If you have questions for him too, why not? You can send them. Once I get them, I would ask your questions. We'll be right back after the break. Do join us again.
In today's global economy, information is everywhere, but insight is rare.
Because of the high rate of fuel, the cost of commodities, cost of everything in this country is high.
This is unacceptable because Nigerians cannot be made to suffer every time.
So, where do you turn for clarity? The right questions.
What is the need for Nigerians? Let's really break it down. Income strata-wise, revenue strata-wise for companies. What are some of the inhibitions that are not making trade work for all?
The real answers.
Stimulus package must take a different shape beyond what we have seen in sharing of rice, sharing of money.
Nancy brings it to you on Moneyline with Nancy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Moneyline with Nancy.
Clear, well-researched conversations focused on what truly impacts you.
Is it that we don't know the number of MSMEs we have in the country, or we don't know where they are?
I don't think we can identify 40-something million MSMEs as a people and as a country.
Nigeria has the policy framework in place to be a leader on
on this approach. You can make farmers bankable.
Moneyline with Nancy now airs 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Weekdays, live on AIT and online. If it matters to the economy, join us.
This is Moneyline with Nancy, and this is a program that sets your business day for you.
Inflation played a 9-1 on us, and the cost of doing business and the cost of living crisis persists. But we can win. We can win on those two things.
We need to work on our infrastructure, maintain what we have, and add new infrastructure. Isn't it interesting to you that it still costs less to ship something from China to Lagos than from Dakar to Nigeria?
Resilience is not only bouncing back when there is crisis or shocks. Resilience is about the ability to adapt, the ability to innovate, the ability to thrive in a VUCA world, which is basically a world that we have a lot of vulnerabilities, a world that we have a lot of uncertainty.
Thank you, Nancy. You've been doing a great job in trying to educate Nigerians, and we must appreciate you for that.
Everybody tells me you're the gold standard in this business, yeah.
More Nancy Naji, for the best you can be, and good at change as well. All right, welcome back to the program. Dr. Omotimi Agama joins me now. He's the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Dr. Agama, good to have you again. Welcome to the program.
Good to be here again after about a year.
After about a year. So that means we have a lot to talk about. The last time you came here was when I think the ISA was just signed, if I'm not mistaken. What has happened between then and now?
Yes, it's been quite interesting what has happened. And the statistics shows exactly what has happened. And what do I mean? The market has moved since the last time I came here. And of course, the market has moved on the premise of the regulatory reforms, on the premise of Mr. President's support for the market and indeed the SEC. It has also moved on the premise of intentionality and strong commitment to resolves that are necessary in building the kind of market we desire to see for now and in the future.
So are you talking of moving in terms of numbers?
Yes, it has moved in terms of numbers to the extent that today the all-share index is over 250,000 points, the highest ever
recorded in history.
In the history of this country. It has moved also to the extent that market capitalization is now over 161 trillion. Right? At the appointment of the team at the SEC, market capitalization was 55 trillion. 3x is unprecedented. It has moved in terms of market to GDP from about 13%, a paltry 13%, to over 33%. It has moved in terms of building institutions rather than building individuals. It has also moved in terms of educating Nigerians. We have had over 130 advisories concerning Ponzi schemes. It has moved in terms of our recalibration into the FSTL list, the result list, again. It has moved towards the fact also that the market has been able to drive development.
Do you think it's been able in the last 1 year has it been able to create wealth for Nigerians?
Without, any doubt.
Because the capital markets is a capital formation place.
Correct. Without any doubt, this market within this time has created more wealth more millionaires and democratized wealth among Nigerians at any other time in the history of this country. This is deliberate, and it follows from the various reforms, the various pronouncements by Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, speaking to democratization of wealth, getting to reach people that ordinarily wouldn't have been reached. There's no one that has invested in the Nigerian market in the last 2 years that is not smiling today. None. We can beat our chest to say so. In 2025, we had a performance of over 51%. This is about the best in Africa. Among our peers, we stand tall, let alone in the year 2026, January to date, the same streak has been maintained.
So DG, if you're telling me, giving me all these numbers, I want to interrogate it a bit further. Of course, Nigeria has Nigeria is Africa's largest population, in terms of country. We're falling in terms of #1 economy. I think we're now #4. But capital market participation still remains shallow, because if you take a look at it, we have 220 million Nigerians. The majority of those 220 million Nigerians are young people. Why has the market struggled, or why is the market still struggling to be like a mass market platform for wealth creation? Why has it refused to be a mass market?
The market has not refused to be a mass market, and I think that's something we must correct. Prior to this time, the information that is available to the people speaks to the fact that not so many people actually are investing in the market. Well, that is old story.
So it's changing?
It's completely changing. Completely changing. Speak to every young person today. You find them using apps to invest in the market.
Yeah, what I'm talking
that
about.
Is the population.
Yes, what I'm talking about, DG,
yes,
is the rate, the percentage of people. Because we have younger people, more younger people in Nigeria.
Yes.
The people that are not investing are more than those that have invested.
I totally agree with you.
Yes.
It runs in all markets. The market is not, the market is a sophisticated market, right? So you do not expect the entire population to be investing in it, right? But even at that, we can tell you clearly that the various apps for purpose of advertisement, I will mention their names, there are over 30, and all of these apps has numbers running in through them and getting this to happen. Our daily transactions at the Nigerian Stock Exchange has tremendously increased and improved. As much as possible, one of the things we will do at the year end 2026 is to provide a new data. That survey is happening now, so it will be premature to give you information. But beyond all of that is the fact that there is a new wave and a new interest in the Nigerian capital market. And that we must sustain. We will sustain by more education, by being involved, and by getting to the people themselves. And that's why at the SEC what we've done is that we've started using fintech and technology to be able to drive some of the information that we're doing. We are the first institution in this country to deploy a USSD code, right, for investors' information, and indeed to verify capital market operators. We are the first institution in this country to actually create an audible law. So the ISA is in audio, which means while sleeping, you can listen to the ISA. While eating, you can listen to the ISA. And of course, while driving, you can also listen to the ISA. We are bringing this information to the people so that the people can get more educated, while we prosecute other forms of sensitization, which is important and necessary for people to get more educated.
The new law also talks about the emergence of digital assets. The last time you were on this program, you talked about that. I would like to know where exactly the SEC is on in terms of regulation of crypto assets.
The SEC has been on in terms of regulation of crypto, and we've never looked back. And one of the things we did in terms of regulation of crypto and other digital assets, because when we talk about crypto, it is not just crypto alone.
Yes.
You know, it's a whole bouquet. And that bouquet speaks to beyond crypto. You have the STOs, you have the ICOs, you have tokenization, you have stable coins, you have just anything you can think of. We're speaking about fractionalization and things that are innovative, unique, and that's exactly what we're doing. So for the SEC, the law has encapsulated our ability to be able to do that. And that is the only law, the Investment and Securities Act, that has such a law in this country. And so what have we done from then? We have issued regulations, and we are working on those regulations because the area is nascent. And because it's nascent, it's revolving and evolving. And if you take that back, you will speak to what is even happening in the United States. The Genius Act just came to be last year. In fact, the Clarity Act just came to be last week, right? Tells you that we are all evolving. And so for us in Nigeria, what have we done with the law that we have? We have issued the VASP regulation. And that VASP regulation is actually undergoing a further review, which will come out anytime soon. So clearly, we are working with the times, making sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, because, of course, it's a risky area, and because it's risky, there's something we must do as regulators, protect the investor. That is our responsibility.
Yeah, I was also coming to that in the sense that I would like our viewers to know that Nigeria consistently ranks amongst the world's largest adopter of crypto assets, despite the environment we are in. You're saying that regulation is underway and all that. What does this tell you, DG, about investors' behavior and the unmet needs in the traditional financial system?
Yeah, so clearly the beauty about the capital market is providing, different platforms and diverse opportunities in the capital market, and that's exactly what we should be doing. It is not only the traditional assets, and if you speak to what is happening today, that is actually changing. And so there is an unmet need, and that is why the only place we can go is up. Our trajectory is up, can never go down. All it requires is for more education, deeper involvement, and more allocation of resources even to this. And you're aware, for us at the SEC, well, our funds come from the market. And as much as possible, you see, it is, a double-headed hydra to this extent that you do not want to increase fees to discourage investors, and you do not also want to reduce fees in order for you not to have money to be able to run your business. And that's clearly, the two issues that we face. But in as much as that is the case, one of the things that is helping us today is innovation, and innovation through technology. So we are doing everything we can to be able to reach out to everybody, to be able to reach out to the people. We want the capital market to be what it should be. The capital market is a solutionist capital market that provides solution to every nook and cranny and every industry in this country. Building infrastructure, is it agriculture, is it the health system, is it transportation, just name it. There is no part of our system that does not require the capital market. And that is why we are excited about the development. We're excited about our law. We're excited about governance. We're excited about making sure that these companies report exactly what they need to report for the benefit of investors. And that is critical for us to hold.
DG, you know that the line between legitimate digital asset innovation and outright fraud sometimes can be very blurred. How can investors distinguish between a credible digital asset offering and a sophisticated scam?
Well, the truth about it is, again, education. Education, and the fact that we at the SEC, we are available. I mean, for wanting to be humble enough, I can say that the SEC today is an SEC that people can reach. It's an SEC that's involved. It's an SEC that speaks to stakeholders. It's an SEC that interacts. It's an SEC that listens. That is clearly what we are today. So we are not shy about listening, about speaking to people, about educating them, about answering questions. That we are not shy about. So for every investor that needs to know, they must reach out to the SEC. We are available. As the CEO of the Nigerian SEC, I can say without doubt that we are available. We are available to speak to people.
Where are you available? Where?
Yeah.
What? How?
Of course, we are available via our phone lines, which are available. You know, of course, we are also available via emails. We are also available via social.
All those things are there, but do you have people that respond?
Yes, they do.
Promptly.
They do.
Do your staff respond?
Very promptly.
For people that want to go online now and verify?
Yes, we do. And indeed, let me let you know, I mean, you're the first I'm telling, right? We're introducing a chat box, which will be operating 24/7, making sure that we do not have a closing time when we react.
So like an AI chat box?
Yes, an AI chat box. Okay. We're just, approving an AI policy for the SEC to be able to do that. We are on top of our game.
So you're on top of your game?
Yes, we are.
Okay. DG, let's talk about this capital market, this one.
Yes.
For the purpose of our viewers, of course, I have the revised minimum capital for regulated capital market entities. What informed this? Yes. What informed this policy that at the end of the day, you're seeing some amounts raised tenfold, and all of that at this time?
Yeah.
Why? When PENCOM is doing theirs, CBN has just finished theirs, insurance is doing theirs. Was there a meeting amongst regulators that all of you should come and stifle us?
No. I say, so that would be a wrong way to look at it.
Okay.
The question you should ask, was there a meeting among regulators to make sure that we have a stronger economy?
Was that meeting there?
That should necessarily, there shouldn't even be a meeting. It comes just natural
to what you all do.
We're talking about financial system stability, please, right? And the central banks led by introducing their policy. The capital market was a major instrument in getting that to happen. From the capital market, banks raised over 4 trillion naira from this market. And indeed, no one would doubt the sources of the bank recapitalization in this country. That is what has happened. We have stronger banks, stronger banks that will lead stronger economies, right? Fine, that's for the banks. Then, for the insurance companies, they are on here because NERA 2025 also came to be.
Yes.
And the place to run to, again, is the capital market. The insurance companies have been raising capital all along, and they have been doing well. Okay? Is that enough? No. Of course, the pension industry. You're speaking to a mass of money, right? That is held on behalf of people, on behalf of the retirees, the most vulnerable part of Nigerians. It is required that these people who will take that responsibility are strong enough to lead that charge. Then, of course, the capital market. The capital market is the institution and the legs for which any economy stands. Because every transaction that happens and every activity that happens speaks to long-termism. And long-termism is the capital market. You're raising capital that is long-term rather than short-term. And if the institutions that are to do that are not strong enough to be able to do that, then there's a challenge. That's one. The second part of it is these institutions take responsibility. It's called fiduciary responsibility. And if you have to take such responsibility, it must be seen that you are strong enough. You certainly will not give your money to somebody you know has challenges, right, with his or her family, or intends to marry a second wife or a first wife at all, that will not use your money to do that. No, you want people that are strong. Before now, we were building individuals. But today, the SEC, the Nigerian capital market, is building institutions. Okay. Mr. President, just a minute. Yeah. Mr. President have given us a charge. We are running towards a $1 trillion economy. If the people who are expected to do that drive, who are the engine room to getting that to happen, are not strong enough then where are we?
Okay, so DG, what anxiety is this trying to solve? That is one. The other thing is that when we talk about the banking consolidation, Olayemi Cardoso gave the banks forward guidance. He announced it at the bankers' meeting, bankers' dinner in November 2024. I remember where he gave his guys that we are coming, we are going to do this. So there was like a 2-year window. For you, you're giving this to your people. They didn't have that forward guidance. There was nothing.
That's not true.
Okay, so tell me about it.
So,
and the timing.
Yes,
and the timing.
I am ready to give you this information. In April 2024, upon my appointment, part of my statement was speaking to recapitalization. However, I didn't just do that. We had a stakeholders meeting somewhere about June, July 2024, where we informed the entire capital market that this is coming. We did. We clearly, yes, we
okay, but you didn't give them a timeline at that point.
At that time, we had not come out with what we wanted to do. But 2 years before we did, we had told them, and everybody knows in the capital market. And let me tell you this. About 15 years ago, capital was raised for the capital market operators. People went out to stop it. They didn't want any of this. And of course, at that point in time, the capital market regulators rescinded. 10 years after, we have come to say, look, the problem we didn't solve before is still staring us in the face. And like Mr. President, we must take bold decisions for the benefit of the people of this country. Those bold decisions do not come out of being, a chicken. They come out of being very, very responsive, making sure that the things that you are going to gain as a result of doing that are things that outweighs the pains that we probably will see. Besides, we've also said there are opportunities, like in every institution or every space, for mergers and acquisition. There are institutions for combining power to be able to achieve what you are achieving. So after the issuance of our guideline in January 2026, we came out with further guidelines expressing clearly how we expect this to run. And this is with consultation. Besides also, just for your information, before we came out with that, every market operator, every association, every SRO was given a chance to make a contribution. And lastly, you must have a skin in the game in whatever you do. That's very, very important.
So you're saying that this was a joint effort, that collaboration was there amongst stakeholders within the space.
Completely.
DG, are you worried that even when this recapitalization is done and dusted, that you will have bigger institutions chasing little business? And let me situate it. Now we have over 300 or so in the market space. Of course, some will fall by the wayside if they are not able to recapitalize. Some will merge, just like you said. Some will be acquired. We will have bigger players. Don't you think that we will now have bigger institutions, as it were, chasing little businesses? Because the space is still not as robust as it should be. That's one. Then number two, if you now have bigger institutions, are you equipped enough to regulate the bigger institutions that come? I wouldn't say, okay, are they too big to save because you are not a bank and you are not CBN, as it were. You know?
So let me correct that impression.
Yes.
You see, the capital market is so huge, and most other clients, 99.9% of other clients, the capital market leads the financial system.
Yes, in other clients, but in Nigeria, it's not like that.
It only tells you that there is opportunity.
Okay.
Opportunity, there is opportunity for innovation. There's opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for thinking out of the box and doing the unusual. Products from every angle, are available. And let me also let you know, of which I did not state earlier on, the AUM, that is asset under management in the capital market, rose from 3.6 trillion to close to 10 trillion in this period I was speaking to.
That's Naira.
Yes, of course. Our denomination is in
Yes,
naira.
I know.
Right.
But if you dollarize that.
Yes, and you dollarize 3.6 and you dollarize 10 trillion, you know the difference. It's over 70%. So clearly, it is what we need to understand, that the opportunities are there. And what we are doing at the SEC and indeed the capital market, we are encouraging innovation. We're encouraging people thinking through for so many opportunities that exist. Is it securitization? Is it green bonds? Is it sukuk? Is it, and equities? Just name it. Most recently, there's something that is happening that a lot of people have not taken notice of. Do you realize that commercial papers are becoming a thing for a lot of institutions?
Yeah.
That is critically successful. And what does commercial paper do? It provides financing for the capital market, for industries. Most of the companies that come to raise commercial papers are limited liability companies.
Yeah.
This is something that never existed, but it is booming. And investors are enjoying the proceeds of those commercial paper issuances.
So, DG, if your market's place is innovating, how are you innovating as a regulator? Because that was part of the question I asked. How are you benchmarking yourself globally, like to the as against the SEC of South Africa, the SEC of Algeria, the SEC of Ghana, the SEC? What are you doing now to make you that SEC of the future, that when you're saying, guys, we need to do this, you don't have people that are outsmarting you?
Thank you again. Just to let you know, we are heads above most institutions and most SECs in the world. Today, by the grace of God, I sit as the vice chair of the Africa Middle East Regional Committee. It doesn't come by chance.
I know that, DJ.
Well, wait.
I know that,
right?
yes.
Today,
I do.
I sit on the board of the IOSCO, the International Organization of Security.
I know that too.
It doesn't come by chance.
I know that
right? Today,
but our SEC has been doing that for years.
Today,
I know that.
I lead the West African Securities Regulators Association. It doesn't come by chance. Today, I am also promoting the African Securities Regulators Association. We are, as we speak today, right, in the last 2 years, we have had visits for over 10 regulators in Africa coming to learn from us what we are doing. And what we are doing at the SEC is that we are recalibrating our strategy from every angle. Is it through technology? And that's what I told you. The first audio ISA, the first USSD, and of course, the use of AI. It's now something that we are passionate about. And also, to break the news, right? The SEC, in partnership with the AFDB, right, has engaged NASDAQ OMS to introduce one of the most sophisticated surveillance systems in the world.
So that's an exclusive for us?
This is, yes, it is an exclusive.
Thank you.
Because I needed to let you know that the SEC is not sleeping on its oars. We are making sure that developments change. And of course, we are engaging partners from all over the world to get things done. We are also digitizing our processes in terms of registration. And to also let you know that today, the time to market from the SEC falling from 2 years to 14 working days. It is unprecedented, right? So the SEC now can stand tall anywhere, being benchmarked with one of the most important or with the most important institutions in the world. And of course, you've not